So, what do you guys remember from last time? Starting off.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Carr betrayed the Sorcerer King's trust right off the
Look, let's not start with that.
bat.
Well, it's the last thing we all remember.
Yeah.
We
We're
also
gonna all get-
had a conversation. We had a town hall meeting. That was important.
Yeah, and there was this lady which was mean.
There's a mean lady, yes.
Well, technically, she was the mage hunter that took down the Sorcerer King in the previous age, and well,
40 years ago.
40 years ago, and it's kind of still out for him for no apparent reason. Even though it's technically been smoothed over.
Apparent quote.
Well, from our point of view, from everyone else's point of view, because we have our memories wiped of that period.
Anything else?
Everything that was discussed in the town
I rolled a
hall.
22 on my spy check.
Thank you.
Okay. Main thing is we had a huge town discussion. We talked about various issues the town had. I know the Elothian Scars, right? The name of the Mercenary Group.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted a brewery, but we said we'll hang it over their heads and we'd give it to them. They won a battle. The mages wanted a church, correct?
Nope, school.
The mages, they wanted a school.
They wanted a library specifically, but you guys can't get there until you get a school first.
Mm-hmm. So we're building a school, right?
And then
The clerics.
the clerics wanted a chapel.
Yeah, they wanted a chapel.
And then the plague doctor wanted to have either an infirmary or wanted to have an infirmary built, but due to the town's ability scores, among a couple of, for several of the buildings, the town's ability scores aren't up to snuff currently.
The town can't really have an infirmary, so we agreed to let them have their work in the church, to which he seemed to be happy with.
But also the idea was kicked out of getting an herbalist shop opened up to try to help him out more.
Of course. I know Jules' character, I forgot her.
Allison,
yes. Tried to probe Leah, right? That's her name?
Yep.
Probe Leah. She figured it out and she didn't like that, so that was neat.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yep. After the town hall meeting, we had several ways of attack for the goblins, the giblins, and
The boss.
the boblins, and one of them required these crystals that
All
What
of
is it?
them required the crystals. If you wanted
all
to
of them
stop
required the crystals. Oh
If you-
yeah, dealing with Malik required the crystals. Yeah.
Merrick.
I'm gonna stab myself.
Well, also, don't forget who stepped up to command the coalition forces.
Oh yep. We have our new current leader, Mr. Alston. No, fuck,
Oh my god, I was wondering when that was going to happen.
Mr. Alston.
Aldwin!
Okay, Car, do you need to take a seat for a little bit and breathe?
Sir Aldwin, Mr. Jade Knight, himself.
It's not Supreme Leader, because if he starts pulling that around, that's not going to end well.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Like,
I have an order that only
I,
due
for
to
one,
me.
support our Jade Knight overlords.
There's
Yeah.
only one. And he's shaky, and his support is shaky as everything.
If you happen to look at the NPC acquaintances and allies, then you'd see where you're currently standing with 3 of the factions.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
And it's shaky for most of them right now.
And okay, so that's going on, and the crystal things, yeah. So they're apparently parts of like old dead gods that were like before
Not
gods.
gods.
They were like before the gods. They're called like outsiders or something like that.
Oh my
The
Eternals!
The Eternals. Thank you. Thank
Jesus
you.
Christ.
Whatever.
Hey, what?
Same difference.
It really isn't.
Trying. I'm trying.
We need to-
Look, this is why I have keen mind.
Quick question. Car, do you want me to go write up a quiz on everything that would happen last session and quiz you on it?
Look, yeah, sure. Go, fam.
I'm
Go,
messing
fam.
with you. I'm messing with you here.
Anyway,
You wanna go, bro?
anything
Anyways,
else? Anything else you guys happen to remember?
There was a huge tree. Oh wait, no, shit. That was a couple of sessions ago.
That was 2 sessions ago.
Yeah. The undead guy. Fuck, I forget his name.
Nerul.
Nerul,
the-
yes.
the
He
guy
summoned
who
some
fighting
undead
himself.
and built a town hall. Which most people were alright with. And Nerul was alright with that. Nerul is pretty cool.
Or he just does his own thing.
Wait, that shadow elf guy was fighting himself, right?
Yeah, that too. Damn fam.
Only Ellison saw that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also,
I didn't see it.
you make that pun again and you're dead.
What? Look, man. How can I have any fun with you if I can't make pun names of your NPCs?
You mean the NPCs whose names you can't remember despite the fact that I've written them down in one channel to make them easy to access?
You could give me a silver platter of lore and still probably just forget about it the next day. Look, dude, Zenvu yells at me for leaving the doors open in my Minecraft server.
Oh my god.
This is the people
Pressure
that
plates.
these are the people that are gonna save Leowyn.
Look,
Yes.
I kind of have a brain matter of Ragus right now, not really a brain matter of Searson.
So, car brain.
Yeah, I've got a bad case of car brain.
Also,
Like, he told me to come into this with the combat mindset, so he came in with the combat mindset.
that was the second half. Anyway, also, Dion, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to secure relations even if you do that.
So let me get into a big brain Searson mindset.
All right.
But yeah, that's all I can remember. Do I get a free point of something?
No.
Man, fuck you.
I wanted to see who remembered what without me having to rattle off a
I
synopsis of
remember
last
everything.
session.
I just didn't remember their names, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
Yeah, he remembered a bunch.
All right.
Which I
Well, as you guys are after the last meeting with Leowyn, you all decided to head away from his large treehouse, but funnily enough, as you're getting towards the town center, there we go. You hear the sounds of loud trumpets in the distance.
Ba-ba-ba.
Are we allowed to enter your thing now?
No, not yet.
The Foundry. Okay.
Still messing up. Anyway, but yes, you guys hear trumpets in the distance, and Terrence, you recognize these horns actually.
oh shit, what are they?
They're the you heard them during one of your training exercises when you were learning to become a glamour bard.
Oh, with the satyr guy?
Yep, with Viverus.
Well shit. So what are those Fae people or something?
As give me a second. Okay, I just wanna. There we go. As you guys kind of like, as you guys are kind of like looking around, wondering what was that? You suddenly a kind of traveling group comes up. Well, not traveling group. You notice that this group with they're very clean dressed, nicely dressed on top of that, better than probably any of you have ever dressed in your lives. Suddenly appear from the woods as they arrive playing music, and one of them seems to have a banner of orange with a fiery red flower on it. And
Wait, how many of them?
there's about 10 of them. with one man carrying a banner, an orange banner with a fiery red flower on it. And Leo and as you all kind of looking, one of them kind of says, "Who is the leader of this town?" The person holding the banner seems to call out.
Yeah.
Wait, who are we?
Gonna point to
now?
Aldwin.
The leader of the town.
As soon as Searson points at Aldwin points at Leowyn.
Leowyn kind of steps up, thank you, and says, "Yes, the Summer Queen has demanded an audience. We require 2 individuals to come with us. Do you have a preference, or you ask, or can we send anyone?" And then they immediately point out Aldwin and Terrence. Those 2 will be coming with us.
Fun, y'all. Don't die.
Wait, who's going?
Terrence
Sorry.
and Aldwin.
Oh shit, go Terrence. I'll stay muted.
And I kind of look at Aldwin, like, and then I look at them again, and I don't.
Aldwin will like lean over to Terrence. You're charismatic, correct?
Yes. Presumably.
You want to try to take point for a little? Well,
What?
You ready?
I can't hear you.
You ready?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Even
Okay, let's go.
the ambassador seems to look at you all and says, "Do you have any personal guards or the like that you'd like to carry along with you, or will it just be yourselves?"
Do you have what?
Any personal guards or retainers that you'd like to take with you, or will it just be yourselves?
Oh shit.
Aldwin will speak up with them.
Say that again. I cut out. I cut out there. What'd you say?
How many retainers can be brought?
1 per each of you.
Alrighty.
So wait, question. Which characters are here right now?
Everyone in the party, everyone that's currently in this voice chat is over there. The rest of them have gone off to do other things.
Uh-huh. So Terrence kind of just goes up to Ragus and he's like, "Would you like to come?"
What did Ragus say?
Okay.
He sees no reason not to.
Alright.
Okay, so he kind of just ambassador guy. It's like, I've checked.
Alright then. And for you. He looks over at Aldwin.
I need to track down the options real fast. You see Aldwin kind of like sidestep a little bit.
And then run off.
Yeah, because the two of them have in mind he does not know where they are.
Heading back to your house, you do find I believe his name was Grail. Yeah, Grail cutting some wood, and he says, "What are you running over pretty fast? What?"
You know the
Okay, hold up.
I didn't.
Take a breath.
Okay.
Speak.
You know the new title I got?
Yeah, Jade Knight. Everyone's jealous.
Jade
We
Knight.
get it.
Yeah. Well, there's an opportunity. An entourage from the Summer Queen has come. I'm allowed to take retainer. Would you feel comfortable coming along?
He kind of pauses for a moment, and then he looks over. At Leonardo, and he says, "Probably better to take the kid with you. This will be better learning for him, and I don't want to leave him here. And it'd be best not to leave him here by himself."
I look over at Leonardo. Does he have any like armor or anything per se?
Yeah, he's wearing leather armor.
All right. Hey, Leonardo.
Yes.
Want to go see the fake courts?
Sure. He says as he's like holding some logs in his arms, and Grail walks over and takes them from him. Have fun. He kind of like nudges Leonardo over, and he says, "For both of you, try not to get stabbed."
Aldwin will help Leonardo clean himself up and make sure he has, as much as the equipment he'll need for this.
All right. It's noon by the time you finish, and you return to the Entourage. Are you very well finished?
Aldwin will say, I am. And he'll look over at Leonardo, or his...
He nods. And the ambassador kind of like squints his eyes at the doggo. He says, "Very well." Before he quickly goes back to normal, he says, "Follow me then." He says as the group like kind of circles around you four and starts marching off towards the forest again.
So we just follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And as you follow them into the forest, the
This
world
is gonna
around
be exciting.
the world around you. For everyone, as you watch the party walk into the forest, you see reality itself start to distort around them before they're gone.
Bruh.
On the for the party that was walking, reality around you distorts as well, and distorts around you as well as the forest starts to change from like the normal forest you're used to this forest with a bluish hue. And for the people who have actually, there's only one of you. For you, Aldwin, it kind of feels like, well, for both Aldwin and Terrence, the two of you feel like some kind of resonance as both of you draw upon Fey-like magic, and you feel somewhat stronger while you're in this place.
Yes. So wait, are we instantly there?
You're walking through a blue-hued forest right now. It's kind of, you can't really.
It's like a bit in awe.
What's Aldwin's reaction to being inside the Feylands again?
As he walks, he cleans out one of his ears, and he'll probably pull out like a flower or something. Oh. I hope that's the only time this occurs.
Wait.
Aldwin put a flower out of his ear.
Also, I thought I got rid of all of those this morning. What's my seed left over? But Aldwin's actual reaction will be, oh, I'm here again. As he looks around a little bit.
As you do look around, you see that there's glimmers of light sparking from each one of the trees, as you see a bit of dust seem to wisp from each tree, and you hear the faint sound of giggling in the distance.
Oh shit.
And as you're walking through, eventually the clearing does fade. As eventually the forest does fade, and you come into this clearing where this large palace sits in the middle with trees seeming to be merged into it. It seems to be a combination of stone of some weird type of stone and tree matter.
Ooh. That must be where the fake queen lives. Oh, the summer queen.
Welcome, and you hear, and the ambassador says, welcome to the summer palace. Now, to make sure that all of you are here in good confidence, we will need your weapons.
Oh. Okay.
My weapons?
I know.
But that's the shining part of me. Sorry, Terrence.
Some of the guards that came along with him, they're kind of like looking at you, like kind of like having their sliding their hands down to their waist near their weapons, and the ambassador gives a smile and says, "Weapons, please." Let's not make this.
Yeah,
Kind of just toss it.
Kind of grabs his Ragus's arm and is like, yeah, you better give them.
No, he's already like, bah, you don't need to do that. He just kind of like throws a lance in front of them.
Yeah, okay, and he hands his weapons to them.
All right.
Aldwin undoes his weapon belt and takes the bow off and basically hands both of them to one of the guards.
They take the weapons. Leonardo kind of like gives up the few weapons that he has too, and they're all kind of and they say, "Thank you very much." Now, you will refer to her. You will refer to her as Her Majesty, or as the Summer Queen. You will not call her by her name if you know it, and you will not be informal to her. Is that understood?
So shut up, got it.
Aldwin nods.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, please. Then he kind of like. Then the door is kind of open, and you see Rivera's kind of like standing near at the entrance. Oh, would you just let them in already, Varys? Yes. Please go in.
Terrence waves at him, like an excited look on his face.
Well, Terrence and Aldwin. Of course, you two would be the ones that they pick to go meet the Summer Queen. Oh, and I see you brought Ragus along too, and the little tyke. He seems to he kind of like messes up Lenato's hair. Don't worry, he's being all serious and everything, but it's really not that bad.
I bet.
Aldwin will fish out a comb and hand it to Leonardo so he can fix his hair.
Leonardo does that, and Rivera kind of rolls his eyes. So, just some advice. Terrence, you know that song that I taught you back when we were training the first time?
Yes.
That's what we're going to be playing when you guys are walking in. If you want to make a good impression, play that.
Oh, you're also gonna come with us?
I'm her bard.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, I'll just be sitting off to the sideline watching as this guy crashes and burns. He points at Aldwin.
What? What do you say? He cut out there. What did he say? Aldwin's going to crash? Crash and burn?
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to watch as this guy crashes and burns, and he points at Aldwin.
Aldwin, he was like looking at like a statue or something off to the side, and then he snaps over and looks at the satyr. Why me?
Because you're the only one. Because you're the one that I know is going to say something stupid and put his foot in his mouth. He puts a hand on your shoulder. Either you or the rabbit folk. I'm placing bets on you, though.
Oh. All right, let's get the betting pool started up right now to see who fumbles first.
Nah. We'll not. He then backs away. We'll announce you guys in like a few minutes. So well, good. He gives a thumbs up before he disappears away in a puff of leaves.
Baldwin will look at Ragus and Leonardo and see their reactions to all this thus far.
Ragus is just sitting in a chair. He's kind of short, so he's just kind of kicking bunny. Still grumpy that he doesn't have his lance.
And Leonardo
was just kind of like awestruck, but that quickly goes away when he sees you looking at him. He kind of like stands up straight.
and Alden will look at Terrence. I didn't know you were taking lessons from the crazy satyr.
Well, he seems to have noticed me a bit because, bard stuff.
He does have an ear for music. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, say what you want to say. Sorry.
No, you.
He does have an ear for music, and he knows what talent looks like. Pat Terrence's shoulder.
Oh, thank you. It was pretty nice playing music with him.
What was the name of that song he what's the song he told you about that would be playing inside? Anything about that you know of?
Wait, did it actually have a name? I don't remember.
I believe it. Oh yeah, it did. You see what I'm saying? I have to go back and find it actually because I swore I had it. There it is. Yes, you remember it as the song "Requiem of Spirit."
What? I can't. I didn't hear that well.
I'll type it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, "Requiem of Spirit." And I'm having trouble pronouncing that. All right.
Okay, so that. Wait. I remember I played it with like the ocarina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is Alduin gonna sing it or something?
Oh no, he just wanted you to play it when it came up.
Okay. So
Because
I'm telling him the name Requiem of Spirit,
right.
and I tell him it's played in the ocarina.
Alden nods. I think that's one I haven't.
Varys actually gave this ocarina to me.
They must really like you and see a lot of potential in you.
It seems like he does, I guess.
Right. And that's when you hear the next visitor for the lovely Summer Queen shall be the Leowyn delegate. The following members will please enter the chamber.
Uh-huh.
Right. So the doors start to open slowly, and Leonardo kind of like moves up to be right in front of them with the rest. I assume the rest of you guys go up there too.
Damn. So what's Reverse doing?
Maviris is not there. He's inside the chamber, supposedly.
So are we like in a hall leading up to it?
Yeah, you're in the entry hall.
All right.
Alden will look at Terrence. Well, if you're gonna play if you want to play the song, I personally think you should be up front to lead.
Oh, right, you're right. And then he just kind of goes to the front with his ocarina out. A bit nervous.
And Alden will say, and take a deep breath.
Thank
You'll be
you.
fine. You'll be fine.
And then we have entering the chamber. We have Aldwin Hollywood, the first Jade Knight, defender of Leowyn. We have Terrence, the Bard of Leowyn, and their associates. Ragus of Leowyn and Leonardo Umbrid of Leowyn. As you guys slowly walk in, Norm, roll me a performance check.
Yeah, me one. Oh shit.
It's exclamation point R then space.
Yeah. I always forget it. I got a 13.
With a 13, you're able to keep along with the general pace of the music, and you don't. Of course, they kind of think that your music kind of like is playing in tune with the others. It doesn't like stand out as noticeably bad or good. It's decent. Nothing that would make anyone angry or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And as you are walking in, you see this lavish throne room. There's orange banners with the fiery red flowers like adorned over each of the pillars. In the back, you see this large painted glass window of what appears to be a representation of what you would assume to be the All-Mother, judging by the appearance, and sitting on a large throne filled with that's made entirely out of sunflowers. You see an orange-skinned elven-looking woman sitting on her throne with Reverus, Reverus kind of like down the steps from her, kind of playing music as well. And you see her entourage, which is made of several more elven-like people standing there as they all stare as you approach.
Definitely not uncomfortable.
That was Aldwin and the rest of them feeling with that.
Ragus, do you want to respond first?
Shit. I was playing Requiem for a Dream.
Anyway.
How am I supposed to feel about what?
You missed the entire describing, didn't you?
I was listening to your music.
I was playing Requiem of Spirit, not a dream. Anyway, you're in a large throne room with a beautiful painted glass window on the background, and you see the Summer Queen sitting on a throne made of sunflowers, while there's an entire elven entourage and the satyr bard all staring at you while one of them's playing music.
And you haven't. And you haven't bowed yet?
Do you bow, Ragus?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Magus bows, and me. Magus bows for the queen. What do the rest of you do?
Yeah, we kind of. I guess Turnus would also see him, and he's like, "Oh shit, that's right." And then he bows as well.
After coming into the throne room and trying to walk as confidently as possible, where imagine we walk towards the foot of the throne.
Not that close. Kind of like a little bit before that, but not close enough. Because you see her royal guard are there at the foot of it, and they're kind of like eyeing you as you get close, kind of giving you like a good moniker where to stop at.
Yeah. Reaching basically the threshold of where guests are allowed
Mm-hmm.
in the Summer Queen's presence, Alden will then bow.
Leonardo immediately does the same, though a bit clumsily, causing a few snickers in the court.
Can Alden try to glance back to see where the snickers came from?
You won't. Actually, no. You kind of like glance around and you see like a group of like what appear to be pixies or fairies, kind of like just snickering to themselves.
A slight eye roll from them, but
You may rise. You hear coming from in front of you. As you all do rise up, you see the Summer Queen kind of like looks at you all with a bit of a amused look on her face, kind of leaning against one handle of her chair, fist holding her head up.
Oh shit! I can see that in my head.
So, the delegation from Leowyn, we have called you here to discuss some matters that we've found rather vexing. Sound like you want to say
Oh,
something
I
there,
kind of look
Alwyn?
at Alwyn.
that is a fair reason to call upon us.
So, from what I can tell, there appears to be a buildup of arms in Leowyn, is that correct?
Alden will nod.
And then you see another Elogen who appears to be more druid-like, kind of say, and you've also been gathering up different druid circles and bringing them to your town, correct?
Another nod.
I assume that this can only be in provocation to the goblinoids. She kind of like looks at her hand, kind of like looking at her nails from what it looks like. I assume this has to do with the goblinoids that have started impressing onto your territory, threatening your town and what would soon enough your kingdom the kingdom that you reside in at some point. Correct? She looks up at you all.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Good. I'm glad that we're on the same basis here. Well, now that that's out the way, my first inquiry is I believe you're looking for three other circles at this point, correct? If I'm to understand the circle of the moon, the circle of wildfire, and the circle of land with its different sub-circles as well, correct?
Yes, Your Majesty.
The circle of the moon plays a rather important role in the natural ecosystem of the surrounding area, as well as the land as well, and consequently the wildfire, since they do deal with forests that have grown too strong with fey magic, as it were. So my question being, her like warm look kind of turns deathly cold. Why exactly should I allow them to go away from their current duties to help you in a to help in a war that only concerns elves?
Wait, what's exactly the relation of the
circles.
Summer Queen and elves?
Oh, okay. So the Summer Queen is a high Eldrin. To be exact, she's also an she's no, she's a no, she is a Fae. To be exact, she appears to be an elf though. The Fae were the original inhabitants of the Feylands, along with the elves. And when the elven gods rebelled fought amongst themselves, the elves were cast out. And the Fae never forgave them for causing the Great Betrayal, as it was called, the civil war that tore the Pantheon apart.
Oh, interesting. And wait, how far away are we from Leowyn?
You have no idea, since the Fey lands are technically to be exact, the Fey lands kind of lay on top of the normal world. So it's like, technically speaking, like you're like the Fey lands like could be like in a small forest, but they could span an entire region and of themselves inside of that area.
Okay, gotcha. So like these goblins are probably not a threat for the Summer Queen, right?
No, not at all. They probably wouldn't be able to access the Fey lands unless someone on the inside let them in. So a few of them could slip in accidentally, but then they quickly be slaughtered, most likely.
Okay. Well, shit, I got nothing.
I think I might have a.
I don't say that, by the way.
Okay, out of character, I think I'm gonna have a reply here.
All right.
Okay, Alden will say this. We seek the circle of the land, the circle of fire, circle of land, circle of wildfire, and the circle of the moon to aid in our war efforts to prevent undue damage to nature and the land that we'll be fighting over. In addition, to prevent, we seek the aid of 3 druid circles to prevent further undue destruction by those committed by the goblinoids and their war effort. The druid circles would simply be there to prevent undue harm, but also make sure that we prevent undue harm of nature, but also help us even the playing field against the goblinoid host of the Marked Legion.
And there's some mutterings in the crowd, and she sort of nods along to it. All right then. That sounds like a rather interesting strategy.
The most that would be asked of any of these circles, for example, the most that we would ask of the wildfire druids, plan out how to safely and properly do a wildfire against the goblinoids without destroying the rest of the land in the process. The circle of the moon, well, heaven forbid anything happen to them, to put simply. And the circle of land, they technically control the land we would be fighting on.
Mm-hmm.
And best to understand the boundaries that we can walk on and not walk on while respecting them.
She nods. All right then. That sounds like. All right then. So at the very least, you won't be harming any of the. At the very least, you'll be minimizing the harm to nature in the nearby area. And then you hear from one of her court members, but at the same time, allowing the buildup of arms and close by would also be a large threat. especially considering how we know how elves are with their past history.
Terrence is just like we merely want to defend from the orc attack, goblin attack. Sorry.
Hmm.
In addition, once the Marked Legion is defeated and scattered, the buildup of soldiers and weapons will be diffused.
Oh.
If anything else, brought down to a degree that for self-defense of the remaining straggling goblinoids.
So you will be lowering your arms as it were. Are you absolutely sure of that? There won't be any matters in the future that will require you to build them back up again, without making others nervous, of course.
Within my memory and my knowledge of current events, I could safely say that after the winter solstice, the arms buildup will decrease. I want to try to put it this way. Well, actually, Terrence, Trevor made a good point. With the aid of the druid circles, for the future, with the aid of the druid circles, we may not need such a massive buildup of arms for the future. But in addition, for the future and the matter of future military buildups, I cannot, in good conscience, I cannot say when the next event would occur, when the circumstances would rise again. So
she kind of looks amongst you all. She kind of like scans each one of you, kind of like. How do each one of you feel currently right now?
Terrence is still kind of nervous because as the people are looking at us and shit and asking questions.
Aldwin, on the outside, he'll
what?
He'll try to look as confident as possible. Period. He's going to try to put off a good aura, confident aura.
And on the inside,
have you ever seen a small sapling go through a thunderstorm?
Yep.
Inside, he looks like that, and he's more trying to put on a good face for Leonardo.
And Ragus, how are you feeling? Ragus.
Yes, M muted. Great. I feel a bit patronized by the whole situation at hand.
You feel patronized?
Oh yes, there's a lot of condescending eyes at us. But I'm not a huge fan of the fact they want us to lower our arms. But then again, what general ever is? I just look at it as we have some goblins that need to be destroyed. They need to be ruffled up.
All right. and she kind of, and then she kind of, and then she sits, and then she finishes her looking at you all, and then she sort of thinks for a moment. She says, "Also, I've heard. Also, word has spread that you found a rather interesting specimen in the forest nearby."
Brief moment, back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Try to help me refresh my memory here. Is this the hermit?
This is Leowyn,
There.
Sorcerer King.
Yeah. Yes, we found a rather interesting individual in nature. What do you seek to know about him?
Well, from what I've noticed, he seemed to arrive in your town, I believe, 2 days ago, and also, strangely enough, it appears that the mages have arrived in your town as well. That is a rather interesting affair, considering the two parties aren't exactly fans of one another.
How can I say this? Oh, the individual that we found is. I say this and for all of our sakes. The individual we found is.
You found his what?
Hmm?
The visitor you found is what?
The former Sorcerer King.
That actually causes a bit of a stir in the court as you hear a lot more whispers now, and roll insight for me.
Roll what?
Insight.
So
1 second. Well,
12.
16 insight.
And Ragus.
oh, I got rolling. See shit. Am I at that? Woo! That's a +2. What? That's a 6.
All right. None of you can really get a bead on the Summer Queen's emotions in response to that statement, as she seems to look at you all with the same steely-eyed glance she has been for the past 7 minutes.
oh great.
And with him in hand, what do you plan to do with him? After all, when a man like that appears, it usually heralds something.
Currently, right
Usually
now.
what?
Usually, it heralds something.
Go to Etsy.
Well, it heralds in the by the goblins.
It heralds the what?
It heralds the use of powerful and strange magic, such as dunamancy, which is being used by the leader of the Goblinoid Legion.
You would have us believe that he's only there for that purpose. Nothing else, as it were.
At the start of your statement, you were cut off.
And you would have us believe that that is all you have him for, no other purpose?
Outside of an advisory role on how they handle the deal, and just simply being around. His name brings weight to many conversations. He's stripped of his magic and most of his influence. If anything else, let this start and be done with the day.
She stares at you for a moment before simply nodding, and then she seems to look amongst her courtroom who finish muttering amongst themselves, and one of them, who appears to be a dark blue elf-like person, seems to walk up and whisper something to her, and she whispers something back before he walks back down. As it were, currently, we find I do not like threats on the border of my kingdoms, whether it be elven or otherwise. And despite the fact they can cause no harm to me, I would like this legion to be done with as soon as possible, so that way my people can go back to what they were doing beforehand, and my circles can go back to normal as well. Since it seems that your side holds the best case of having that matter be dealt with, the Summer Phalanx have elected to aid you in certain pursuits.
Might I ask what these pursuits sound like or look like?
We will have words with the Wildfire and Moon Druids and the Endorian Respidon Hive that resides within these halls as well. That way, two of them will answer our calls and no doubt be able to join your side. The last one you may have to speak to for further reassurance. But that is all and your little I believe that there's someone in your town who thinks himself somewhat of an intelligence gatherer. His spies have been amusing at best. We'll offer aid in that regard as well.
Well, he'll be most glad in that.
But that is all we will offer, as if at any moment we decide that it appears that you are not the winning side. She sort of leans forward. Well, I assume you know what that means.
You pull the plug on the aid and watch the cards fall.
Yes. That is exactly the case. Now, do we have a deal in this regard?
I would tell you I'm personally in agreement. I look over at Terrence and Ragus.
Wait, what did you say? I cut out.
Personally, I agree to this. Then Aldrin looks at Terrence and Ragus to hear their thoughts.
One second.
Oh, shit. I was going to say I am part with whatever my compatriot agrees with. Which would be...
Well,
What was that?
well, you can be sure you won't need to cut that aid,
I would hope not.
Your Majesty.
I would hope not, Terrence. That would be most unfortunate.
And yes, I agree.
Keith looks over at Ragus.
I agree with whatever my compatriot imparts to it.
All right then. With that being done, I will start spreading word to the other allies that you need. Besides the allies that you need. Besides that, I assume that we most likely will not have any further meetings in this regard. So I bid you all a pleasant day. I will also be sending Reverus with you as my personal liaisons. And then Reverus kind of like smirks a bit before it quickly goes back to normal as he keeps playing his music.
Turns to grins a little bit.
Baldwin just simply bows gently.
And with that, the four of you, along with your new guest in tow, are sent out, and as you guys are leaving, you hear her say, "Oh, do mind the time distortions, by the way. The Fadelands have a bit of a habit with that. Hopefully you won't end up 5 years in the future." And the door's shut on you before you can respond to that.
Bruh.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Well, let's hope it doesn't happen.
Switching sides, if that's all right, as you guys are traveling back.
Indeed.
So for the people who decided to stay back in Leowyn, which was everyone else, the party went off to speak to the Summer Queen, and Darrow, you hear Darrow mutter under his breath, "Hopefully that doesn't end badly," as they're gone with the distortion of reality. I never liked a meeting with her.
Queens can be like that.
You don't know this one. By the way, Tate, we're starting off from last time, where it's been a half hour after your town meeting in Revelations, and Aldwin, Terrence, Ragus, and and what appears to be a young dark elf that Aldwin knows were taken off by several Fey people to speak to the Summer Queen, the Queen of the Fey in this region.
Okay.
So with those care matters done with, what do you guys plan on doing? Do you have the run about the town from what it seems?
I need to purchase a mace. So if anyone,
Well, I have no need to purchase anything.
I see.
Any word, Keith? Any word from my ineffective spy ring?
They weren't. I never said they were ineffective. Anyway.
That's. I meant to say like they were detected.
Anyway.
That 22 is not good enough. It's good to know.
I never said it wasn't good enough, and you haven't gotten word back yet.
Gotcha. I guess I'll go check in and see if any new info has been learned or not.
That'd be a good idea. Dion, by the way, that mace is going to cost you 5 gold.
All right. I'll also offer to whoever I buy it. I'll offer to heal any injury they or anyone they know of might have.
It's Rainier, so
for the weapon that I may use to now defend people.
It's veneer, so he just simply lets you buy it, and he doesn't need anything else.
Fair enough.
I guess I'll go. Has my hidden blade been upgraded or no?
Yep. It's finally
Alright, so
finished.
it's an actual hidden blade.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Costing you, how much gold do you have?
AC moment.
I have, if the thing will load, that'd be nice. From what I recall, it's over 100 gold. So, once I scroll down, 199.
Costs you 50.
Alright, so let's change that to 149. And I guess I shall put that in. So, hidden / stealthy. Wonderful. Perfect.
Tate, did you go back to the bakery to start working again, or what did you do exactly?
I don't know. I'm just working.
All right. Well, in your bakery while you're working, you hear the door chime open, and since as you peek to see who walks in, you see that it's Leowyn actually.
Hey, what's up, man?
Nothing much. I just need an order of goods.
Okay, what kind?
2 dozen donuts, covered in literally drowned in honey.
Wait, what was that?
2 dozen donuts drowned in honey.
Okay.
God, that sounds good.
How much is that going to cost me exactly?
How much is that going to cost me? Good question. Whitney's not here, so I have no clue.
I think that was about 8. I think that was about a gold piece per.
For what, 12?
Was it 12 or was it
You said a dozen, right? You need a dozen?
He needs 2 dozen.
2 dozen? Oh.
Let's say that it's 8 gold for now.
8 gold for 2 dozen. No, do 10.
I was saying 8 per dozen.
Oh, okay. All right. That's 16 gold then.
He hands you 16 gold. And then kind of like sits at the counter. So, how long has this bakery been here exactly?
It just started about like a year or so, around a year.
Ah. And how are you liking Leowyn?
That's all right. People are cool, kind of.
Some of them aren't.
Some of them are a pain in the ass, if that's what you're wondering.
Such as, or is that something you'd best keep to, or is that something you'll keep to yourself?
I'm not saying, but just know that some people are assholes.
Noted. Very well. Any particular? How about who do you like? Any particular person that you like in this town?
Very few people that I like here. Besides, Whitney. Well, no, maybe those people over at the what is it, the shop, potion shop, alchemy shop, whatever the place is. They're pretty cool.
Ragus and Terrence.
Yeah.
Very well. Though I found it amusing that Whitney's the main one that you seem to like the most.
Yeah, she's my partner. I have to like her.
True. That is a good way of looking at it. How long have you two been working together?
5 years.
Quite a while.
Hey, look, why are you asking me all these questions?
Oh, no, let me explain. I'm usually just mainly a conversation, so that way I don't have to sit in silence. Plus, it's easy for me to get to know people, as it were.
Oh, well, just to let you know, I hate small talk, but I'll let it slide for you, I guess.
Is there anything you don't hate?
I don't hate lots of things.
You see him kind of snickering. All right. He then looks off to the side. Are your weapons on you right now, actually, or do you have them somewhere else?
I have them somewhere else.
All right.
Why?
Nothing. He's kind of like looking around, and he kind of like takes notice of the fact that you're unarmed. And you kind of sit in silence there for a while before he asks. I'm surprised you haven't asked what I've needed the donuts for.
To eat them, I assume.
No, they're not for me, actually.
Who are they for?
Oh, well, you know of that queen that appears to hate everything that's non-Vespidon?
Her? Why?
Well, I think if any of you went to go speak to her, she'd probably kill all of you on the spot. But considering that I knew her in the past and her fear didn't so until my disappearance, I thought it'd be best if I was the one to greet her. And I know that Vespidon are a particular fan of honey, so I thought that it'd be best if I brought honey-covered donuts to smooth it over. Plus, if she tries to kill me, I'll just come back.
You know, fair. Don't die, though.
I literally can't, he says, kind of chuckling.
Okay, well, don't get injured. I don't fucking know shit. Just take the damn donut.
Take the donuts. Thank you very much. You have a pleasant day. He then tips you an extra 4 gold for walking out with the donuts. And then you hear him say, "I hope you and your partner have a wonderful day." He then walks out.
All right. How much was that? 20 gold?
Yep, 20 gold total.
Or D10 because I'm splitting it. Okay.
All right. Kaladin, checking on your network, you've gotten word that they found a trail for the circle of the land druids, particularly the swamp one that you were looking into, and they're going to see if they can establish a dialogue with him at some point and see if they can get him to possibly come to the town in some way, or at least find out where the other two are as well, and probably get all 3 of them together.
Alright, so spies found trail to circle of the land druids.
Particularly the swamp domain one.
Wait, so circle land druids in the swamp domain?
Yeah, they're the swampland druids.
Swamp domain. Alright. And they're going to establish a connection with them?
They're going to see if they can find where the other 2 leaders are being held.
Both at the same time?
They'll see.
Alright, so which one are they going to prioritize?
Probably finding the other 2.
Alright. Going to ties. Finding. Alright.
What else is there? And
Perfect.
After that, it does become pretty quiet in the town, actually. At some point, Leowyn does leave the town, where to no one really knows, because he kind of disappeared off the map. Nerul and Thrin have been left behind, though, both going around town doing their own things, as eventually around 2 p.m., the party that went to go see the the Summer Queen, return. Thankfully, not 5 years in the future.
Wonderful.
So how does the entourage react when they're finally back home and not in the future?
But they showed up.
Yep, they just show up in the middle of town.
How was it?
Oh shit.
Yo.
Well, she was something.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, she agreed to help us as long as we're still winning. So take that as you may.
Yeah. She is willing to have the what was it? Circle of Wildfire and the Circle of the Moon, I believe it was. Sign on to help us, but the Circle of Land and one of the Vespidon hives still needs to be made contact with by us in order to get things rolling with them. Alden says this as he checks his hand to make sure it's in this time period.
Yes, it is.
That old
What was that?
Searson will ask. I mean, almost. Fuck, they're not here, and I notice them. Hello?
One more time? Say that again?
Oh my god, what is my fucking audio?
It's because of that thing in the background, anyway.
Is it the kind? Damn. Can't do much about that. So Searson Searson's asking if there's anything else that they said. Excuse me. She wants to know everything about the meeting.
He asked a bunch about the Sorcerer King.
They asked a bunch about the Sorcerer King. I mean, that's to be expected.
And Terrence, were you about to say something, or Norm, were you about to say something?
I guess so.
And also, the Summer Queen took a pot shot at Calden's spy network.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's working very hard on his spy network, she puts in quotation marks.
It's actually quite effective. Just a little rough around the edges.
Anything else?
The help pull the Summer Queen and her druid circles on our side. I reassured her that the druidic circles the 3 druidic circles would serve an auxiliary / planning role to help minimize damage done to the environment and their lands. And also become fully aware. Knowing where they are, we can better move around the Summer Queen's allies and the like, without having to tread and possibly cause a whole diplomatic incident.
Oh, no doubt you'll already blend her into that at some point. You hear coming from above you.
Thank you for that.
Resting in one of the trees, you see as Nerul as he kind of like just slipped out of the shadows there. He's kind of like he's got one of his legs hanging off of it, with the other one up with his knee against his chest, looking down at you all.
Having a fun time up there, I'd imagine. Having a fun time up there.
I'm just simply sitting here, nothing fun about it. Nothing wrong with it either.
And as I put it in response to Summer Queen's bit of she'll have our support as long as we keep winning.
Mm-hmm.
That she would simply pull the plug and watch the cards fall where they may.
That's fine.
That's probably the majority of the factions at this point. By the way, you might want to watch out for that. There isn't much love amongst either factions currently for you lot, though not as harsh as it could be.
Well, where do you stand in?
No, I couldn't care less.
Thank you.
The difference being, he drops down. If you all fail to defeat the goblinoids, it won't mean death for me, Thrin, or Leowyn. Of course, the two of them will be sad about it, but at the end of the day, all three of us will survive because, well, in some function or other, we can't die. The mages, I have no doubt, if they abandon you, will let you all die, come back to find Leowyn, take him and spirit him away to some other prison. And the scarves eventually get annoyed at you and leave. They'll just go back to Aeneas and defend the guy that's paying them, not the town that's not.
Well, then I suppose it remains die.
Yes, that'd be smart anyway. Another smart thing to do would be to ease over the tensions between yourselves and the factions, since it appears that the current town meeting has not exactly made them favor you.
Are you serious?
Let's see. In front of the entire. Let's see. Thrin, did you keep tally? And Thrin kind of like, who's hanging from another tree, kind of like drops down and says, "Oh yeah. Let's see. You publicly aggravated the scars by hanging the brewery over their heads. That one, I'm pretty sure they were gonna get angry about anyway, unless you actually built it. Which, no harm, no foul. There, that makes sense. I believe some of them are unhappy about the school as well, though they are a bunch of mercenaries, so what exactly they think doesn't matter in that regard. Besides that, they actually like you more than the mages do.
What are the mages mad at?
Let's see, us being here, he motions to him and Nerul. Supposedly you tried to probe the minds of one of their members? He kind of like
what?
He raises an eyebrow at that. I have no clue there. Did any of you attempt that? He looks amongst you guys.
At this point, Aldwin's probably put his hands in his pocket and like shrugs.
I can even cast spells, let alone probe someone's mind.
He then looks over at
Ragged shrugs.
He looks over at Tate for a split second. He's like, "I don't think you care enough to, right?" Tate.
Huh?
Thrin asks, "I don't think you care enough to probe someone's mind, do you?"
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, at least know for sure that you didn't do that. Well, that's another thing. Besides that, you do have some good sides, though. You were able to smooth it over better than it could have been, though. The church and school, the chapel and school being built smoothed over some stuff. Vernel's making a case for you all, which was an excellent idea in that regard. And holding the brewery over their heads, and they're all taking over the undead also seem to smooth things over. But they are worried about Nerul spying. That's the one thing that I know is that they weren't a fan of in that regard.
What's the problem about Nerul spying?
And then Nerul kind of like folds his arm and says, "It's me."
Well, Aldwin will speak up. Well, also, Nerul, can't you like step into the shadow of the tree over there and then appear right behind me or Searson?
I don't even have to do that. He says as he pops out of your shadow.
Aldwin will lift up an arm and see if he like moves with the shadow, like he,
No, your shadow basically serves as like a portal entrance for him to pop out of.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be a slapstick thing.
Unfortunately, not.
I mean, so long as she doesn't do it with me, he doesn't. Good shit.
Anyway, but yes, it doesn't help the fact that I don't think much. The party's discussing why the mages and scarves are currently slightly unhappy with them. Oh, and also, there's the fact of the matter being they aren't exactly a fan of Shadowkai in general.
And exactly a fan of what?
Shadowkai.
Well, they seem to be a huge fan.
Oh no, they dislike my variant of elves. Funnily enough.
They like you raising the undead. It's a bit odd.
Well, they like me controlling them so they don't pose a problem. They prefer control. They don't like loose cannons. As well, loose cannons that they don't have a hand, that they can't tell when to stop. And since I don't listen to them, well, I'm the biggest loose cannon they probably have. Besides, well, what am I here? Oh, please, you're a druid. You wouldn't do anything too out of line.
Either way, there's a sign. The situation with the other factions is a crap show, correct?
Yes, but it can be improved, thankfully. There are some people who would probably be better with... From what I noticed, the town meeting can serve as a public front to make it look like everyone's working together. However, behind the scenes, it'd be best to see if you can patch things up. Since Leowyn is not here to aid in that, since he's off doing his thing, me and Thwen have some suggestions.
Searson, you're about to say something?
I was about to say, well, I have some, but Leowyn, you can go ahead. Or not. No, really, you may go ahead.
Well, out of all the people here, the person that I think would get along most with the mercenaries is, and he looks over at Tate.
Mhm.
You
Are you sure? I propose Terrence.
Well, Terrence is a good speaker, but Tate has stuff in common. But from what I've seen of Tate, he has things in common with the mercenaries.
Ah, yes, but I have a lovely conversation with Bragus. Oh, you did? Yes, it was when you were getting drunk. Oh, it was!
Oh my goodness.
Off of Terrence's brews. It was? He looks at Terrence.
Wait, you said off of what?
Terrence's brews.
Terrence's what? Sorry.
Basically, you made alcohol. And Ragus had some of it and got really drunk.
I did. I don't remember that.
Maybe you got drunk too. Who knows?
Okay, let's go with that. What I actually don't remember it.
What I'm trying to say is it gave me an idea. Terrence is an alchemist that doesn't make explosive power. Unlike Tragus. That might be useful. Also, he's apparently capable of making beers.
Ooh, kind of shrugs down and looks over at Tate. Now, what do you think? Would you rather try and smooth things over with try and see if you can find some way in with the scarves? I mean, I think that you having something in common with them, and Searson thinks that Terrence and his alcohol making skills could also help with that. So,
And why don't you bring both? Sweeten the deal.
And it saves me a walk to the big city.
Exactly.
All right, clever strategy there. And the second half of things, the mage's end. That one's a bit more particular.
How so?
Well, it depends on what strategy you want to go forward with it. Because there's technically three options. Or four, actually. Option one is you try to smooth things over with Leah and basically make friends with her. Out of all of them, she currently has the most influence and power amongst the conclaves, and she's the daughter of one of the councilmen of the conclave. If you have her on your side, the rest of the mages fall in line. Out of fear or out of respect. Second option is you support. Second option is you support Virno and and have him kind of work his way up. Since he's one of the council, since he's one of the 10 elites of the Elothian Mages Guild, he could also be an option since he actually knows the area. The third option is somehow he kind of like rolls his eyes. You are able to get Leowyn to get influence in the faction again. Fourth option, and this one's the one that I highly doubt will actually work, is somehow you make all three of them work together, which I have high doubts about. I think it could work perfectly. Well, that's because you're an optimist. So, Leah, Virno, Leowyn, all of them. Those are the main options that I see.
Actually, I'd like to get.
You'd like to what?
I'd like to get all three of them sitting at a table, but I need someone who a little bit more.
Well, I can tell you at the very least that Leowyn won't be sitting at a table anytime soon since he's gone to see the Cavassian Queen. Take him a day or two.
Right. So that leaves Virno and. Hello?
What was that?
So that leaves Leah and Virno.
Yep.
Correct?
Which
Nice.
I doubt Virno. Go ahead.
I suppose I could get the two of them.
Virno probably wouldn't be that hard. He's out of all of them, he seems the easiest to persuade.
I think I have a good feeling that Leah might sit down with.
And why is that exactly? He kind of folds his arms.
And I fold my arms. Because I asked nice.
Everyone kind of like laughs at that. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but Dion does have a point that he says a priority list. So who would you all prioritize? The Scarves or the Mages? And who?
Well, do the Scarves and Mages character.
Well, Alden will kick this out. If it weren't for the fact that we were dealing with a powerful magic user, they would both be on even footing, since the mages and the scarves can levy against the goblinoids fairly easily, both countering each other. But because of the powerful magic user that Merrick is, the mages probably take priority for a little bit.
But what if we help?
You said, what if you got both?
Yeah. We have enough people to do it.
We do.
Would be, and from what I was gathering, I think we already have a group that's going towards the Elothian Scarves. I feel it. Yeah, that's a very good concern. Ooh, I like that. But I guess if you wanted to secure the well-being of the common people in the long run, that would just be, you would have to talk to the common people.
No, they'll be fine so long as the goblins don't conquer them for now.
Yes. Right now, the priority to secure the well-being of the common people would be to deal with the immediate threat of the goblins. long run promises are done after.
And also the things that they asked for has been on the books for a very, very long time. Really since the beginning of the town, so they're kind of used to waiting, sadly.
Boy, reform will come. It's slow, but it will come. I'm sorry for these frogs, guys. I wasn't expecting too many frogs. Does anyone have any particular idea? Go. I feel like Tate, Terrence, Ragus are on Tin Scarves. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's fine.
Well, if
Are
you,
we picking who we're talking to?
Basically, you're focusing on who you're going to be. You're basically choosing who you're going to focus on more currently. Currently, the scarves like you more, and if you keep them up with you, you keep the military defense up high. However, the mages don't like you as much, and the mages don't like you as much, like you less than the scarves do, and basically the question is, do you want to keep growing with the people that like you, or do you want to keep growing with, or do you want to try and grow the people that don't like you as much?
Leah likes us too, right?
Leah?
Yeah, she likes us too.
She's currently
So
her
who's the two that like us?
and Virno and the mages likes you, and he's the only current major mage figure you know of. Besides, if you tried to get Leowyn back in.
But you said the mages don't.
Yeah, the mages in general, but there's people in there that do.
Oh, well, let's stick to the mages. They don't like us.
Sounds like it's slowly tilting towards the mages, Nero says as he kind of just conjures a shadow ball and kind of just tosses it up into the air a couple of times.
God, I wish these frogs could. Well, atmospheric. Who would be on the sheriffs?
On the mages?
Who would be the mercenary?
Well, I would say we would need to show a force in that regard. So the strongest would probably be a big help. Preferably those who, considering the Elothian scarves, they've had a track record of liking drinking and liking hitting things. So anyone here an alcoholic?
I don't think anyone would admit to that.
Nero kind
Well,
of
I mean, Ragus just drunk, yes. I did not! Oh, clearly. I'll hit you with my lance!
Next up. Next question. Does anyone here have a like fighting?
Like fighting?
Yes. Does anyone here have a does anyone here like it?
I'd rather not say.
I kind of like an occasional bout when training and the like.
Jeez. He looks between Aldwin and Terrence. And shockingly enough, I think you two, along with Ragus, would probably be the better option in there.
But I don't like fighting.
No, not Terrence. I'm sorry, Tate, but also Terrence would help with the alcohol that was mentioned before. My mind is going.
Okay, that I can do maybe.
How about this? Tate, Ragus, and me, and Terrence. We go to where the scarves are and have a little bout. Terrence. A little bout. A little, sparring match. Terrence, you can provide the drinks because alcohol is good to them. And the other three of the group can slug it out for a little bit.
So, are we going to go now, or am I going to be given time to prepare the alcohol?
I say it's likely going to be a little bit of a wait, so to speak.
Well, if you go into
Yeah.
the inn at night, I'm sure they'd love to fight.
So,
Well then, this will be rather interesting. Nero says he kind of like looks amongst you all, and you've been shockingly quiet. He looks back. He looks over at Kaladin.
I'm not much of a talker. Talk, it may be effective, it may not, but as for which side or which faction I would support or prioritize, I'm not much of a mage, so I wouldn't really understand, like, in terms of spells, maybe what they would be after. Like, they're after what, the school, was it? And Elothian scarves. They're mercenaries. They like coin. They like beer or alcohol, whatever. And yeah, I'm up for either. Hey, actually, wait. Maybe mages. Yeah, mages are good.
Is it for the magic items? Thrin asks with a bit of kind of like laughing.
Well, I'm not going to refuse any offers of magic items. And that is my view on the matter.
This frog!
Well, this should be an interesting affair.
Yes, you could say that.
Nero kind of like looks amongst all of you. I sort of wish Leowyn was here to sort this whole mess out, but unfortunately, he decided something else was better to do. So I suppose you all better get to work then. Meanwhile, well, that's best left unsaid, he says as he puts his arms behind his back.
Why didn't you come with us?
I'd rather not.
Want to speak your mind in terms of the mages?
I doubt they'd like to hear anything I'd like to say. First of all, second of all, apparently I'm on spy duty, as it were.
So is Kaladin. He's here too.
The difference being is that he can't be everywhere at once, or rather, he can't hear across vast distances like I can. Of course, that doesn't make him a bad spy. I'm sure he's probably good, but at the very moment, I need somewhere to focus, and walking around with you all isn't going to help me focus.
Very well.
Anyway, wish you the best of luck. He starts walking towards the great treehouse.
Likewise.
Try not to anger them more. Try not to anger them more than they already are. Though I don't think that's that hard.
Try, my lord.
Nero then simply vanishes away after that. Usually, it's gone. He went that long without insulting you all. I'm actually impressed, Thrin says as he looks towards where he was.
Accomplishment.
Anyway, well, I'd best leave it to you all. I have duties to look out to worry about. I have to go. I have to go see Veslia again. Hope I wish you all the best of
Hopefully
luck.
it doesn't go too bad.
Here's hoping, he says before he starts walking away. Have fun, you all.
Oh, well,
And with that, I assume that all of you are going to start enacting your own plans on the matter.
I guess so.
So,
It would seem it would be time to do so. Yes.
I'm trying to think about how to do this. Mage's side, one person roll me a D100 on all of you add your charisma modifiers together. Warrior side, same thing.
All right.
Oh,
I guess.
Or persuasion, rather.
Wait, you want roll persuasion instead of D100?
No, D100, add your persuasion modifiers to it.
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna let the mercenary group go first.
So, should I roll?
Doesn't Norm need to go soon?
yeah, I probably need to go in like a bit.
So I thought we could do that.
My persuasion is like 7.
Yeah, I just wanted to see. I just want to see the
Who's
general
gonna-
outlook how this is going to go.
Do we all
Who's gonna
roll?
do
Did we
that?
roll?
No, one person's going to roll a D100, and then all of you are going to. Each side's going to roll a D100, and each of you is going to add your persuasion modifiers to it.
Okay.
That is
I'm
a
not
79
unlucky.
on the die. As for my persuasion modifier,
Write it down for me. That way it'd be easier.
yeah.
What was that? Was that Norm?
I said I'm not gonna roll the D100 because I'm unlucky.
Cookie, you want your first roll of the night to be a D100?
Okay.
Hey, Carl, what's Searson's persuasion modifier?
All right. So, real quick. All right. So I'm going to do the mercenary group first, mainly because your side's going to be having to try to convince them to do an honorable bout. So you notice for the mercenary side, you all are able to kind of figure out that the mercenaries like to hang out around mainly the inn area, the docks, and kind of the outskirts of town near where the watchtowers are being built. So you could start at any of the 3 areas, see if you could find Steele, who appears to be the leader of the mercenary guild, the mercenary group themselves. If you wanted to speak to him about potentially having a skirmish of some type. Anyone catch that or no?
Oh, we got it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So there's 3 or 4 locations of where they could be.
3. Outskirts of Leowyn, docks, inn.
Split up.
Docks, the inn, the outskirts of Leowyn.
Split up.
split up again.
I guess.
All right,
I
where?
don't know how many of us are there.
Well, there's you three, and I think Rag is sided with the mercenary side. From what I remember.
Uh-huh.
So, does technically 4 of you? Yeah, 4. So you could have one extra person ahead with someone else.
Or we can
Talking to them, right?
Yeah, you just have to. You're talking to them, and you have to speak to Steele, the leader. But he could put you in potentially 3 different locations, so that's 3 different groups to speak to.
Oh, okay.
All in like one place.
What was that, Norm?
Are they all in like one place, or are they also split up?
They all split up. Outskirts, in, and docks.
maybe we can all try the inn first, or just move as a group.
Dion is an expert of the dock area.
Yes, but Dion's going to speak to the mages from what I saw.
Yes. Did we decide to? We're all gonna go to one thing together, right?
No, you're splitting into different groups to deal with the 2 different sides.
I see. Yes. Then in that case, I voted for the mage negotiation. That is correct.
All right. So in first for my 4 people.
I agree with it.
Aldwin, and Tate, you guys cool with the end? I mean, cool with the end?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm good.
All right. So the first place you go, so you do head to the inn, and you notice that there's a large amount of scarves, mainly lollygagging around there. The noticeable crimson scarves around their neck, adorned above their armor, as they're all kind of scattered near the inn. You see the local innkeeper, Lily, the local innkeeper. She kind of you see this elf basically throw out one of the armored men, basically saying, "And stay out!" And you see like some of the like scarves laughing at him as he's kind of like picking himself off the ground.
So how does he look like? How would he look shit-faced?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't look drunk. Just looks like he got pretty bruised since he got hit hard by something.
Oh, is he still on the ground?
No, he's picking himself off the ground.
Okay. So Terrence kind of comes up to him and is like, mind if you tell us what happened?
Ugh, nothing really. Just that innkeeper really doesn't like our hospitality. Oh yeah, I'm sure she really does. I'm sure there's a reason why she doesn't like your hospitality. One of the guys off to the side says.
Oh.
Whatever.
I kind of look to the other.
You look to who?
To the others I'm with.
Amongst them, you really see that this is mainly recruits. Though you do see one or two high-ranking people, a couple high-ranking people drinking by themselves off to the side, like actually inside the inn, so they don't seem to be causing trouble or anything. But Tate, you also catch a glance of your sister, actually.
And my sister.
Yeah, Faye seems to be also hanging out in the inn, but she seems to be across the room from the mercenaries, kind of just watching them.
Mm. Oh, okay. But she's like by herself.
Yep.
Okay, well then he like goes up to her, see what's up.
She notices you coming and kind of like smiles and waves and says, "Hey, what's up?"
Why are you here?
Just I needed somewhere to go after that whole shindig. So I had to come here and just see like how the rooms were here. Not that bad, though the company's annoying. She says as she kind of like takes a sip of her drink.
Yeah, I know, right?
What are you doing here?
About to talk to these idiots about something.
And what exactly could you talk to them about? Unless you plan on starting a fight club with them.
No, I mean, maybe. No, never mind. No.
She kind of like laughs at you. Uh-huh. Well, some advice. Well, I was about to say these guys love to fight. Pretty sure they made a. I'm pretty sure that from what I've heard, they have a fight almost every night around here.
You haven't been joining them, have you?
I just got here, so no. Have you? She looks at you.
He doesn't say anything.
I just rub her hand over her face. What have you been up to?
I've been working at the bakery, and that's all you need to know.
Oh, working at the bakery, huh? He gives you kind of a nudge. Is that all you're doing? Considering you have as your partner.
Yes, Whitney and I are just partners, friends.
Partner friends.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And don't say nothing around her about it.
Fine. I won't say anything. Did you tell her about the other thing?
I mentioned it, but she doesn't know everything.
How much? Mentioned how much exactly?
All she just knows is that I've worked with some bad people.
Oh my goodness. That's that's a big thing you're probably keeping in from someone that you're making money with and are friends with.
I just don't want to scare her off, okay?
Oh, please! You two have spent 5 years working together. If you haven't scared her off with how you look, I'm pretty sure that she's staying.
She probably won't after I tell her everything.
I doubt it. She seems nice from what I've seen, anyway.
I don't know. She might not like me after.
You have little faith in yourself. She says. She stands up. Anyway, she got a patch on the shoulder. That's neither here nor there. But if you're looking for the big guy to talk to, that table over there is a good one. I heard that Steele might be at the docks if you want to talk to him directly. I heard this, and I heard that the big brawn of the group hangs out at the outskirts.
Big brawn.
Big stupid guys that hit things. You'd like them. She kind of like smacks you on the shoulder.
Oh my god.
Okay, thanks, Faye.
She smiles. No problem. And then she kind of just finishes your drink and says, "I'm going off to hunt something. Hopefully I can find like a stray elemental or something.
Alright, don't die.
When do I ever?" She says she's walking away.
Wait, who was that guy we need to talk to?
So Steele, commander, over at the docks. However, there's a group of officers here that could be pretty influential, and then the big, strong, stupid guys are over outside of town.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Alrighty.
So we got a particular person they want to talk to first, or a person they want to talk to.
Aldwin can go seek out Steele if Tate wants to, or if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
He'll, Aldwin will then wander out.
All right, where is Aldwin heading to?
The docks where Steele is.
All right, and Tate, you are headed to.
I guess I'll go see that big stupid guy.
And I'm guessing Terrence is dealing with the officers.
Yeah, sure.
All right, just because he's gonna leave sooner. Terrence. So you see that the officers seem to be sitting at a table together having drinks, but you notice, and seem to be they seem to be they're trying to relax. It seems like it's kind of hard with their soldiers outside being stupid and making a lot of noise, and that's when you notice that there seems to be a lack of ambiance in the tavern.
Of ambient. Oh, interesting. Okay, sure. Can I just play a sound or something?
Yes. Well, any particular instrument that you want to use?
I think I'm gonna go with the lute. It seems more fitting.
Right. Roll performance for me.
I got a 25.
The 25, your lute playing is able to serenade the entire tavern, earning you about 10 gold. And one of the officers, who appears to be a rabbit folk, kind of like is listening to music more and more, and kind of like looks over at you and says, "It's pretty good playing, Bard."
I smile at him and I'm like, "Thank you." And I kind of bow a little.
Another one looks over. He appears to be a Lupin, actually. Missing his right eye, and he looks over at you and he kind of says, and he kind of just says, "Wait, aren't you one of the defense councilmen or whatever?"
I guess I would be, yes.
Huh. What are you doing in a place like this?
Well, there's a few people we need to talk to.
Like,
do you need to know?
It's not my business. The Lupin takes a drink. Whoever you talk to, hopefully they're in a better mood than the commander is.
Oh, what about him?
You didn't really make a lot of scarves happy with how the meeting went today, though. That's the usual, I guess. We don't get paid to like things. You just get paid to hit things.
Wait, is he like a mercenary?
Yeah, he's one of the Scarves officers.
Oh, one second. Can you please remind me why they got pissed off? I don't remember.
Brewery being held over their heads with them having to actually with them having to actually like fight, which the likelihood of them being able to soon seems kind of slim to them currently. The fact that Aldwin was made commander of the coalition forces instead of Steel, and then to add insult to injuring, the school being built instead of like the brewery. Those are the main three things.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, I'm sure whatever the problem is, we can find a compromise.
Well, they kind of like chuckling, like look over at you and say, "You got an alcohol maker somewhere stashed around here, then? Because besides that, we have to order out from Aeneas."
Well, I actually might be able to help with that. Maybe a little.
The rabbit folk kind of perks up and looks over at you. How?
Well, let's say I have some experience with alchemy, and that's kind of like alcohol.
You can make alcohol, is what you're saying?
Yes, it's not very much.
Oh. The rabbit folk and the other guys kind of like perk up then as they kind of like look amongst each other.
Wait, is the rabbit folk like a mercenary too?
Yeah. All three of the people that you've been talking to have been mercenary officers.
Interesting.
They kind of like look over at you. So would you be willing to make some for fee?
What kind of fee?
They kind of look at each other. Gold. All of them say at once.
Okay, well, if you're interesting, maybe you could come by the alchemist shop at some point, probably tomorrow.
Other one the exploding guy owns?
Well, let's say he hasn't been very involved with management lately.
No. Oh, well, that's a relief. Was hoping I wouldn't have to use my next batch to blow something up.
No, you probably will be fine.
All right. That's the case. Then we might have something there.
Yes, in any case, I probably have some other thing I need to do. Have a fun night.
Same to you.
And then I smile. And keep playing the song thing.
All right. If that, who would like to go up? Aldwin or Tate?
Yes, so I should probably be going now.
All right. Thanks, Norm.
It was a fun session. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye, Norm. Pediment.
Adios.
An honor and a privilege as always.
Peace.
Okay, so you guys have fun with the rest of it.
See you.
All right, Aldwin, you're kind of heading down to the docks, and you see that there are scarves hanging up there too. You see some of them seem to be kind of like taking stuff off of some ships that have come from. They seem to be from Aeneas potentially, as you see like crates being handed down and the like. They seem to be. You hear the thunking, and you hear like metal racket that sounds like it might be filled with like something heavy and full of metal in some of these crates.
Alden just watches him for a little bit, watching him work.
Hey, you break that box, I break your skull! You hear a voice shout at two of the crewmen that were about to drop a crate.
Alden will look over at the owner of the voice,
You see,
taking a wild guess.
yeah, you see a Earth Ganassi with skin that seems to be made out of steel, with a missing a missing eye, kind of just kind of like pushing like them down the ramp. Idiots.
Alden will go over to the Ganassi.
Earth.
Or sorry, I meant to say Earth. Sorry, Avatar, my mind. Alden will walk over to the Earth Ganassi, steal the Earth Ganassi. You don't. I would have half the mind to question your men, but I know that's your issue.
What, you want to take my job now too?
Oh no. I like it here.
That's what I thought. Besides, you nightly types usually aren't one for mercenary work.
You'd be surprised. After the fall of the keep, I took up some mercenary work to put food on the table and get my charges and inns, or get my students in rooms.
Oh, goody two shoes knight's willing to dip his hands in the mud. I'm shocked.
More Waller in it.
What do you want?
Proposition.
What's the proposition?
Your men are starting to get antsy.
What told you that? He says he sees another one of them. As he sees one of them kind of like pushing another one into the dock, causing a few of them to laugh.
That, and well, if two squires are anything to go by, you tell them to do something, not to do something, they'll eventually do it to each other.
You have no idea.
First off, I got a temporary solution for your brewery.
Mm-hmm.
The alchemist Terrence, he was able to produce alcohol.
The rabbit folk?
Hmm?
The rabbit folk?
Yes, the rabbit folk.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. So you're telling me that the bard knows how to make alcohol?
Considering the actual alchemist of the town nearly blows up a 3-block radius every other week, I'm willing to believe the bard does make alcohol.
Alright, that's one thing. What's the others?
Okay, out of character, this is going to sound so stupid when Alden says it. Alden closes his eyes. Fight Club.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, what?
Take a swing at me.
Why? I'd probably lay you out on your face right now.
Shit.
You're angry at me? Alden taps his chin. Send me into the water. Go on.
Oh god, man. I'm gonna have to actually roll a d20 for this. So that's what's your AC?
14.
18.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try and stop yourself from going into the water, or?
Oh, he, Aldwin will. He's gonna, when he staggers over towards the edge of the dock, he'll, spin around to move back towards the dock.
Roll me a strength save.
Oh man, my good dice is 13 total.
Unfortunately, that does not succeed against his strength. As you're kind of like you're trying to like lean back, trying to keep yourself from falling over the water, and unfortunately gravity gives way and you fall straight into the dock with a very sore chin.
Coming back out to the surface, Aldwin will look up. How'd that feel?
Been waiting to punch one of you night types ever since I saw them back in the Capitol, he says as he kind of like leans over the dock railing.
Aldwin just smiles. Yeah, we kind of have that effect sometimes.
Sometimes is an understatement.
Well, how'd it feel to you then? To clobber me right now?
It works. Be better once we get an actual fight in.
Well, I feel like it'll be good for both you and your men, Aldwin will say as he kind of swims over to a ladder and comes up. Also, Aldwin will say as he rubs his chin, you gotta tell me, was that a right or left hook
Right.
you threw? Later, after all this is done, can you show me how to do a proper right hook?
Sure. I'm sure that you guys never had to really fight with your fist before.
I haven't. So my other knights have, or peers have. I know my dad has. That's my grandfather. So you up for a little fight club for you and your men?
I know that Leowyn would have a problem with it, so it'd probably be a guy to keep it from him.
What's the first rule?
Ha, funny.
But in all seriousness, as long as it's something that doesn't tear up his town, you'll probably be fine with it.
Sounds about right to me. That'll work. Then in that case,
that's what I come here to do. But do you mind if I stick around?
Go ahead. Might get some of these guys to actually start working. He shouts at some of them, and that kind of scares them to either fall into the water or rush off to get more crates.
Mind if I try something?
Sure.
Is there a group of recruits
Yeah, there is.
nearby? Are they struggling with getting some stuff?
Yep.
Aldrin's gonna. He actually is gonna bark, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And once he gets their attention, he's gonna walk over to them and direct them on how, how they should handle crate or use the equipment, or how they, help them give them direction and also help them.
All right.
And once they're
No, go ahead.
need me to do anything, or
No, just continue. Like, what were you gonna say?
and then once they're done, he's gonna back off and watch them work. see if they do well, and move on to the next group to help them.
All right. Last but not least, Tate. Tate, it kind of takes you a bit to walk through the forest, try to figure out where exactly the these mercenaries are. But eventually, you notice the big footsteps on the ground that are like just like stomping grass deep into the dirt. And you kind of get a general idea of where you're supposed to be going. And that's when you come upon one of the watchtowers that's being built, and you see that apparently the Scarves are manning this outpost, as they appear to be and you see a couple of these big guys in like full plate armor seem to be carrying like huge pieces of wood and putting them into the ground and everything. And they're kind of being directed by some of the others, by the shorter and more normal Scarves. And you kind of get the idea that these are the not so bright ones. You get the idea that these are the not so bright ones you heard about. Tape.
Hmm.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what I said there?
Nope. What'd you say?
Basically, you found the Scarves building one of the exterior watchtowers. A few of them being the big and not so bright ones that you heard about. While there seem to be normal ones that are kind of like leading them around, telling them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're watching them, you kind of get the idea that they really just follow orders from what it looks like. It doesn't look like it'd be. Maybe it'd be easy to convince them by themselves, though you could try and convince their handlers, quote unquote, to see if there's anything that you could do for them in that regard.
So I could talk to the handlers and who else?
The big guys, the ones that are kind of like just moving giant blocks of wood around.
Where are the big guys at?
The big guys are closest to the watchtower. They appear to be putting like these pieces of wood into the ground to serve as like foundation pieces for the watchtower. They all appear to be. Judging by how big they are, you think they probably have some type of like giant blood in them, maybe like that you've heard about, but they don't look like giants.
Oh, giant blood in them?
Yeah, they look like they might have giant blood in them based off their size and everything, but there's something off about them, kind of. You can't really piece out what race they are, really.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna still talk to him.
All right. You walk over to what do you say as you walk over to one of them?
I'll just say, hey.
One of them seems to pause and like kind of like turns to look at you, and you have to like duck to dodge the piece of wood he's holding. Oh, hi.
What's up with you guys?
Just building.
Do you think you could stop building for a second?
He looks over at his handlers, who seem to be focused on something else. Okay, kind of like sticks the giant piece of wood in the ground, like right next to you.
Just to be clear, what am I talking to them about?
So the main thing was to see if you could get like them back on your side, basically, to see if you can get them to like you again. In what regard you could do it in any way. For example, figuring out what they would like. The main ideas were basically giving them a brewery through Terrence, which he's handling on his end most likely, or by doing favors to them, maybe. Because Aldwin's speaking to the commander.
Oh, they were the guys that wanted the brewery?
Yeah. And Terrence handling that. Aldwin's trying to smooth things over with the leader. And on your end, you're trying to see if you can get the strong people to like you more, then potentially potentially you could get more of the scarves to like you, since they're more likely to think about what the strong ones would probably want to do than otherwise, and the people that control them more as well.
Okay. Okay, so Tate, how long have you been working?
Since the sun came up.
Break? You haven't had a break?
We don't really take breaks, really.
You don't take breaks.
No, not really.
Who doesn't allow you to take breaks?
Man, so we don't sit around and fall asleep. Plus it's just moving around stuff.
Yes, but it is nice to sit down once in a while and rest.
Yeah, well, that's not what Shogun says, and we gotta follow his orders, I guess.
Where he at? Where's this guy?
He's right over there. Yeah, you see like this rudimentary like watch post, like that's meant to be like watch over the workers, and you see what appears to be this high elf kind of high elf kind of like shouting at some of the other guys, telling them telling the handlers where to have their people go.
Okay. What? Oh, sorry. Keep going.
He just watches from up there, tells us what to do.
It's just him.
Yeah, just him. All the other guys that take care of us follow his orders.
Okay. Be right back. And then he's gonna go over to the high elf watch. So he's in a watchtower, right?
Yeah, he's in like a smaller one that's built like just to look over the workers.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna go over there.
Hey, I told you to have that big guy move that rock to over there. No, not there. What am I paying all of you for? You ain't paying us, sir. The count is, and I'm making sure that you keep your jobs. Now do what I say.
Okay. Tate's like, hey man, what the fuck?
He looks over and says, "What? Who the hell are you?"
None of your business. Why the hell are you not giving these workers time to rest?
They don't need time to rest. They need to hurry up and finish their job. They can rest when it's over.
Yeah, buddy, that's not how that works. You're gonna make them rest now and give them proper breaks, or I'm gonna break your face.
Roll intimidation.
Yeah, +9, baby. Let me have this. Oh shit, that 20.
With a 29, you got paused for a second. Well, I never. Who do you think you are?
I'm the person that's gonna make sure these people at least get a break every now and then. So you need to shut the fuck up and let them rest.
Fine. Everyone take a break. Break? What? Just stop working. Oh, okay. All the big guys kind of stop, and the handler's going to say, "You're not going to get away with this," he says to you.
Well, matter of fact, why don't you come down right now? Just come down for a second.
Or else what? He stands up there.
Or else I'll break down the damn basic ass watchtower you're standing on.
He's glaring at you. He says, "I could fry you with a thought."
And I can knock all the teeth out your mouth. What you want to do?
You see, he's glaring at you. He's like gnashing his teeth, and you can see like sparks of electricity off of his hands for a moment.
Wait, his hands are sparking?
Yeah, with electricity.
Oh, he just puts his hand on the watchtower to symbolize that he's gonna break it. I'll break it, man.
He then proceeds to drop down from the watchtower.
What you're gonna do is make sure these kind workers who are helping us out take decent breaks from now on. You got me?
Crystal.
Shit. Good. Now, if I see that you're not listening to what I'm saying, I'm going to make sure you can't hear out of one ear. Do you understand?
Got it.
Good. As like just for like incentive, he's going to break the watchtower.
Why?
Just to make sure you understand.
Are you done?
Yeah, and Tate just like walks off, giving him the middle finger.
As you're walking away, you hear him mutter under this lizard garbage as he walks off.
Do I want to turn around and beat him up? Okay, you know what? I haven't beat up anyone in a minute. He like turns around and is like, "I'm sorry, what did you say?"
He stops. He turns on his heel and he says, "I think you heard what I said."
No, I want you to repeat it, just to be sure.
He then takes a step forward. Lizard takes another step forward. Garbage. And like the entire camp like kind of stops and just looks at the two of you.
How tall is he?
He stands about he's a high elf, so I'd say about 6 foot even.
Hold up, sorry, I gotta like check this out.
Thank
you. Yeah, okay, yeah.
You gotta check your height real quick. Wait, hold up, am I taller than him?
Yeah, no, he's taller than me. Okay, yeah, he just grabs his shirt and how do I want to do this? Okay, yeah, he grabs his shirt and knees his stomach. Yeah, his stomach.
Roll the hip.
Okay.
That's gonna be your strength and proficiency.
Oh, just my okay. Hey man, don't fail me now. Yes, 21.
You hit him in the gut. He's like, and then he's gonna try and cast Shocking Grasp on you.
He's gonna try what?
And cast Shocking Grasp on you.
Okay.
What's your AC?
16.
So he tries to reach for you with this electric filled hand, and you're able to throw him off of you. He kind of like falls to the ground, like coughing, holding his stomach, kind of as he's unable to hit you. He's like, he's trying to get back up at this point.
Now, are you going to continue to say stupid shit or no?
Only stupid shit I see right now is you. He says he spits as he says he kind of like stands back up.
Well, okay then. And then he like kicks his side.
Roll
I gotta roll hit again. Yeah. Oh, he aims to kick his. Bruh, I got a 6.
Unfortunately, with a 6, you were unable to hit him. As this time he kind of like a magical barrier kind of like blocks your leg. and he kind of like, and then he's gonna fire a lightning. He's gonna fire a an acid bolt straight in your face, but point blank range.
Bruh.
That's a unnatural 20.
Of course it is.
That's an unnatural 20 again. I rolled with disadvantage.
Oh.
You take 8 points of acid damage, and it just hits you square in the chest. Yeah, hits you square in the chest, making you slide back a little bit. Fight! 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 You hear start gathering from around the area.
Okay. So it was acid, right?
Mhm.
So is my shirt will be burning then, I guess, right?
Yeah, you hear your favorite shirt is like sizzling right now.
Fuck, it's my favorite shirt. Damn. Okay. All right, fangirl moment here. I'm sorry, y'all. So yeah, I just like he just rips off his shirt. He rips off his shirt because of the acid.
Uh-huh.
And puts his fist up. You want to fucking go, man?
Let's go, you lizard piece of garbage. I'll be sure to turn you into a new coat.
Not until I turn you to paste.
And all right, roll me, and you're good with athletics, right, or no?
Athletics. Yeah, I'm okay at it.
All right, roll athletics, basically roll athletics, basically, because the two of you are about to have a knockdown bare knuckles fight.
Bruh, it would have been funny if you said performance. My performance is better. That's why I'm laughing.
It's a +5.
Yeah, it's +5.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no! That one.
Even with a nat 1, you do better than him. As like he starts fight, like the fight starts, and he's like using all types of magic to try and make your day like not good. Like you get burnt by lightning. You get another splash of acid like on like a piece of your pants, kind of like sizzling into it too. And then he kind of like gets you in like the nose, and you can hear like the crack of cartilage. And then you just start seeing red at that point, and you just start hitting him over and over again, and you drag him down into the ground, like with the two of you getting mud over you, and you just keep hitting him over and over and over again, and you're not stopping. Like the more you hit him, the more you just want to keep hitting him.
Like fuck you, you piece of shit.
And it's like, whoa, you're gonna kill him. Like one of the guys tries to get you off of him, but you just keep going. It's just like, it's the thrill of it now. It's like adrenaline just rushing through you at this point.
I'm punching him in the face, right?
Yes.
Oh god.
Like at first it was his chest, his gun, his chest, but now you just like straight up just keep hitting him in the face.
Yeah, you like that motherfucker, huh? Mm-hmm. You want some more of this, huh?
At some point, like they're able to like restrain you and pull you off of him, and you're just, are you gonna try and get out of it, or are you just gonna like let them pull you off?
No, you know what? I'm gonna struggle a little bit. I'm not done.
Roll a strength save.
Strength, okay. Okay, I was +6. Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, that's fine.
You're unable to like get out of it, kind of. It's just like, but they're able to hold you back as like your hand is just covered in like your hands, your face, your body is covered in like this guy's blood.
No, I'm not done. Let me at that asshole. I need to fuck him up some more.
No, you need to stop or else you're gonna kill him.
Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. Let me finish beating up this bitch ass.
You kill him, and the scarves are done with you.
Okay.
Are you calm?
Fine. I'm calm.
They let you go slowly.
Is he like unconscious?
Yeah, he's unconscious. Like his face is like bashed in.
Okay. That's bad.
You see like everyone just staring at you. They're like wondering what just happened.
Well, so you guys got more bricks now?
Like they all nod slowly as they just look as two others like pick up, can like take Jorgen and just kind of like carry him away.
Just let me know if he like bothers you again, or something like that.
They nod. All right.
Cool.
Do you eventually just like walk away, like just kind of like, oh gosh?
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. Walks away.
How does Tate feel after that?
My hands are bloody, so I'm like looking at him and thinking back on everything that happened. I'm just like, whoa, what the fuck?
And you make your way back to the bakery, probably to clean yourself up before Whitney notices.
Yeah, no, I like haul ass to the bakery because Whitney don't need to see that.
That's what we're gonna leave off Tate. Oh my god. And with that,
Whitney, don't say I'm sorry.
We're gonna move over to the major side of things. Jesus. So Circin, Kaladin, and Dion. The three of you all here. I know Dion's here, but it's Kaladin and...
I've always been here since the dawn of time. And yes, I was there to witness Tate being like fucking savage. Tate went all Teddy on that guy, dude.
Jesus Christ.
He had to.
Anyway, okay, so the three of you, you know that the mages will probably be hanging out at either the soon-to-be built chapel or near at a treehouse that's near Leowyn's place.
Dion suggests we check the chapel.
Right then, the chapel.
So
Let us go.
So the three of you head off towards the chapel that's slowly being built. You see spirits and Vespidon working on it together, kind of like building the different pieces. Like you see specters like floating up certain pieces of wood up to a certain area before it's nailed down. You see Vespidon kind of like hanging upside down with the help of like a banshee, kind of like nailing a piece of wood in. And you see the two Asimir, Leowyn and Pino, kind of like watching the entire thing. You see, but you see, like they're separated from each other. Pino seems to be mainly near the little altar that's nearby, watching the chapel being built. Meanwhile, Leon's kind of like further away, and seems to be speaking, but to no one in particular, from what you can tell, since there's nobody near her.
Another casual case of insanity.
Oh yes, a very casual case from time to time.
Which one would you like to speak to?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So there's Pino, who's hanging out at the altar. She's the local Asimir. She's been the local Asimir of this town since it was founded, for the most part. And there's Leowyn, who was one of the people that Aldwyn, Dion, and Kaladin met on their way to Unegula, who came back, and she says that she's a cleric of the Lightbringer, of the Light Brother.
I already forgot her name. Wow, thank you, short-term memory.
Pino,
The first
Leowyn.
one.
Okay, Pino.
Pino. Yes.
She's hanging off the altar, which seems to be strewn about with different gods, with different necklaces of gods. She's kind of like tending to them.
Dion is gonna. Is there a altar or shrine for the maiden?
The maiden mother's necklace is hanging on one of the arms of the altar. Yes, she kind of finishes dusting that one off before moving to the other ones.
Gotcha. I will approach the necklace and is there like a common offering that followers of the maiden would give or do, or like some kind of ritual that's common for those that practice or follow the maiden teachings?
Give gold, maybe flowers.
I'll pick some flowers and put them there with 5 gold.
All right. He kind of like nods at that, and she notices you all. And she says, "Oh, hello, everyone. Are you here to give reverence?" He motions to the statue. I'm afraid there's probably not any gods that probably fit what you're looking for. Maybe, she says, speaking to Searson in particular. Not that many. No Tickler's come here before, so I haven't exactly been able to get a necklace of one of the gods to put onto here.
'Tis fair. I'm not looking for a god anyways. I am, in fact, looking for a pair of mages.
The mages, I've been avoiding them rather since I'd rather not deal. Virno, I'd rather not deal with at this current moment since he and I are still on about the materials that I need for the different spells. I'll find some way to get that money eventually. And then the other one, she's been rather odd. I've just been avoiding her in general, to be honest. Both of them discourage me.
Both of them discouraged you?
Well, yes, I rather don't like either of them. For good reason, too.
It does make sense.
Yes, when one's all
What
about...
you? What is your opinion of us?
Well, you've kept the town safe, so that's all I can really ask for. You haven't desecrated the altar. You haven't done anything horrible towards any innocent people that I know of. So I can't really say I dislike you.
I'm sure Dion wouldn't ever allow you such a thing, anyways.
I trust my party to act in the best interest of the realm. That is why I choose to give my aid to such noble people.
Understandable. Well, you're better off than the other one over there. She motions over to the other Asimar.
Sorry about that.
It's no trouble at all. Just, it's strange seeing another one of my kind, especially one as fervent in her goal as her. Considering that she has 2 things that I lack.
And what are those?
A god to speak to, and an angel to guide, and an angel to guide.
If you wish to serve the common people, the maiden is always willing to extend her guidance to those who are ready to listen.
I'll pass. I prefer to spread my focus to a general group. I don't focus on just one, to be quite honest.
I see. Fair enough.
At any moment, one group of gods or another could hate me for that. So I prefer to generally serve the side of good.
Well, as someone that also tries to do good in each action that they can, I respect that as a motivation.
Yeah. Yes, it just gets harder. It just gets more interesting here and then, especially with the current events. She messes with one of the necklace. She messes with the necklace of the knowledge bringer. And Kaladin, you remember that specifically one because when you started worshiping him yourself, you kind of like bought a necklace and gave it to her to like put on the altar. Just kind of a way so that way you could have more luck on your side.
Husband, I guess, paying off in one way or another.
True. But if you'd like to know where they are, I'm sure that Leanne could offer you that guidance.
We would appreciate it. Thank you for pointing that out.
It's no trouble at all. Just thank you for building this chapel. It's nice to have to be able to have an actual roof over my head to sleep under.
Well, we're glad that you're taken care of. And if you know of anyone else that needs shelter, food, water, medical supplies, and/or anything else that they may need, please let us know.
All the ones worried with that have been the ones that Onyx have been taking care of. The refugees coming in have been a strange lot, to be honest.
Ah, strange in what ways, my friend?
Rather closed off from the others. Some of them don't really speak that much to us. Some even refuse to allow me to touch them, from what it looks like.
Well, perhaps we can change their mind by showing them that we only wish to better their lives.
Not many people are going to like someone like me, so it'd be better just to leave it alone.
Well, I think everyone has many merits that they can provide for everyone else, so you shouldn't be so down on yourself. Everyone has something to contribute.
That's not the case. The fact of the being is I'm an Aesimer. Aesimer have never gotten along with the world at large. After all, we're a sign that the rest of the world isn't able to keep it safe. That they need someone else to protect them.
Well, we will try and be those people to the best of our ability.
I hardly consider the opposite of that. I feel you are just good-natured people in general.
Well, we are. Well, some of us are. Others of us have turned to darker ways.
Oh.
Not all Aesimers stay good, after all. Not all tiefling
Is
are
that true?
Yes, it's kind of the reverse with the tiefling, as not all tieflings are evil, not all Aesimer are good. There have been those amongst us who have fallen.
Well, every group has the occasional slip, but that doesn't make the collective bad in any way. You're not responsible for the actions of others. Everyone has their own choices to make.
I'd suggest you never speak to any Lupin, then, she says as she messes with some of the other necklaces. Or the Woven in general, actually.
I appreciate
Why is that the
advice.
case?
She looks over and says, "Oh, that's right. You're not from here, so you'd never know. The Lupin hate all elves, as do the rest of the Woven. The Woven being a collection of races that are based off wolves: the Lupin, the Wolfera, and the Gnolls. They hate the elves, the orcs, and the dragons, or draconics rather."
Well, it's not logical or moral to hate someone that wishes the best for you, so perhaps we can change their mind in time and through our action.
Do you know why they hate you? She says as she looks amongst you all.
Oh, please, do tell.
It goes back to the Great Betrayal, of course. For the Lupin anyway. The Lupin defended the Feylands from all manners of threat while the elves lived in there. They were your protectors in a way. When the Great Betrayal when the Elven Pantheon started splitting, the Lupin Pantheon took no part in it, and the Lupin did the same. And as such, they were cast out for not supporting either side, just as the elves were cast out for causing it, the whole matter. The elves, angry that they sat on the fence, cast out the Lupin and told them and sent them to the far corners of Takira. Most of them went to the far north, others a bit closer, but the elves never shared their land with them.
Well, those elves might not have, but we will do our best to share everything we have with those that may, regardless of their race, species, or any other variable that may come into play.
You're not the majority, though. What you want what you want is not what the people want.
Well, the people may come to realize that through helping others, they can help themselves, and thus may change their mind on what they think that they may want.
She kind of smiles and then like looks at the other two, and then comes back to the altar and she says, "Before I let you go, do you know how long this age of chaos has lasted?"
No, but I'd be interested to know.
280 years. 280 years of people of the same or different race spilling their own or each other's blood over and over again. I'm sure there are several who thought like you and thought that helping the needs of the many probably would work. But she she glances back. They ended up the same way. Their entrails spilling all over a battlefield. She then goes back to working on the altar.
Well, we appreciate your insight and wisdom. We will do our best to not repeat the mistakes of the past.
Here's hoping, she says.
Here's hoping.
She kind of starts humming as she's working on the altar once again, and I assume you guys are gonna go talk to Leanne.
Yeah.
Correct.
Leanne at this point has moved. She's moved closer to the docks, where she's closer to the coast, actually, not the docks, where she seems to just be speaking out to the air in general.
What did she say?
I guess we'll say
she's speaking in Celestial as you guys get closer.
I don't.
Wow, do I understand that? Probably not. Nope.
Kaladin, do you understand Celestial?
Sadly, that is not one of the languages that I know. I know Sylvan, and I think Halfling, but not Celestial, because I never thought it'd be, used that much.
Well, the Aesir aren't that frequent. The Aesir aren't that frequent yet, so you were right in that. But
yeah, I guess I'll have to take up on learning that in the future.
As you get closer, she kind of like pauses and she looks over at you and says, "Can I help you?" She says, as you see that her eyes that were once shining kind of like turn back to normal.
Whoa.
It appears we've interrupted something.
No, it's nothing at all. It's just a different matter. Melandra was just relaying something to me.
Oh.
I see.
So how can I? What was that?
Well, if it's not a bother, would you be able to tell us what
Where who are?
Virno and Leos.
The two of them, from what it appears, I think they're having an argument. I think they are. They're probably near that large treehouse over there, probably arguing in one of the treehouses near it, no doubt. The two of them have been at each other's throats since this little town meeting, from what I can tell.
The large treehouse? You mean the one that still exists?
Near it, yes. They're in a treehouse that's near it.
Okay.
Well, perhaps we can diffuse tensions between them by giving them a common goal.
Those insufferable lot will never be able to see eye to eye. They're just like the rest of the people who keep causing chaos.
Well, even if they don't see eye to eye, they can still work together for a common cause.
Here's hoping. After all, I'd hate for the Light Brothers' judgment to rain down upon this town for the folly of a few.
As would I.
Excuse me, what?
The Light Brother. Have you not heard of him?
Have I heard of him?
Yes, he's the antithesis to the Dark Brother.
That's about all I know, right?
You know that he can grant any wish if you can defeat him, and you know that he's a lot more angry at the world because of the chaos that's been going on.
Yeah, basically not exactly light or anything like that.
Oh no, he is light. He's just indiscriminate light. He burns away all darkness, regardless of its origin.
Oh, great. So basically a Deus Volt god. Cool.
Deus Volt.
Yes, the Light Brother has been rather annoyed by recent affairs.
Well, perhaps we
I
can.
just going
Please
around like
find
just
bringing-
seeking out things to destroy.
And how do you know this?
I'm his cleric. I'm his only. Oh, one of his few clerics. He doesn't give many his power. The only reason why is because I serve an angel that works through him. He's the reason why I'm even allowed to exist in the first place.
Huh.
That's very interesting.
The Light Brother, ironically enough, is the father of all angels and the grandfather of all Asimir. From his blood we are born, and from his blood we all die.
Well,
Well,
is there...
hopefully we can keep you from dying. At least in an unreasonable way.
You were saying?
In any case, I was wondering how we could appease such a being.
Trust me. Don't fret your head over him. You have far more present issues to worry about. It is that he is looking more long term, as it were.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, it seems.
To be quite honest, I'm sure that he's probably impressed by you defending this town. As long as you don't follow the wrong path, I'm sure he'll be happy with any progress you make.
Define wrong path.
If you start turning into the very people that have caused this chaos to continue as such, if your ambition proves to be unruly and proves to be more of a danger to the world than a benefit, well, then it wouldn't surprise me if at some point he appeared and had words. If you chose to fight him, he would completely and utterly destroy you, of course.
As
Well, our only ambition is to help the people of this realm, so hopefully, as a good-natured deity, he would see that that is a noble cause worthy of his mercy, at the very least, if not his some form, if we prove worthy.
She kind of looks at you, Dion, and she's like, you can't honestly be that naive to believe that cause will always be good-natured, correct?
Oh, no, he is.
You understand.
oh,
You understand that goals one day will get corrupted. That the men that you might have followers that one day say the good of the people might be something like, let's say, look at that halfling over there. Maybe halflings are a threat to the peace of the realm. They need to be exterminated. Or what about that woman over there? Women shouldn't be allowed to do their own thing. They need to be put into a furnished prison and left at the home, cooking and cleaning and do anything that their husband or whatever partner that they have wants. Or even further, he then motions to the altar. Maybe God's like, let's say, the knowledge bringer or the maiden mother shouldn't be allowed. All their followers deserve to be slaughtered and their churches burned to the ground. All that could stem from just one goal for the common people, for what's good for them.
I think a truly universally altruistic goal will lead to betterment for all of those under our jurisdiction, and I will continue to push for that with all I have, though since we do not exist in a vacuum, problems may arise. We must do our best to better the world around us no matter what the cost or stakes. We only have but one choice, and that is to push forward for the betterment of all.
You are...
Oh, Dion. Stay naive.
Leanne kind of smiles and says, well, I wish you well on that goal, though she kind of like looks behind her for a moment and then says, I think Melandra finds that rather funny.
To be fair, Dion's intentions are all but corrupt. They're very horrible. With good intentions, indeed, he has. His execution is the issue.
I'm sure you'll figure out some way to deal with that. Execution is always where the problems start to arise, or where they start to fall. After all, and I'm sure that some of you have ways to have certain ways. She's mainly glancing at Searson and Kaladin in this case, and she has a bit of a smirk on her face.
She winks at Dion and Merrick when motion. She winks at Dion when talking about him, and then smirks at I forgot her name already.
Leanne
when motion.
I will say this much. My being here has caused Melandra to look over this town, and she's taken notice of some things that'll be rather interesting to see how they unfold.
Well, whatever she's looking at, I hope she's blessing.
She then looks back toward the one and says, let's hope that she blesses us. After all, there aren't that many angels left to bless people.
Well, perhaps we should seek to protect them, for they could prove to be a valuable asset in the lives of people.
Oh, it's not protection. She turns back around. They're being told not to come to the realm. They're being told to leave you all behind for the time being.
Well, I think people are worth saving, so if we can convince any to help us, then it would be appreciated and probably beneficial for all. But at the end of the day, it is their choice whether to help. So we cannot force anyone to help regardless of whether or not it is correct or not.
Yes, but before you go to see Leah and Verno, I'd like to impart one last thing. Just let's just say this. The reason the angels aren't coming around isn't because they see it as you're not worth it, but because more lives will be saved by letting everyone slaughter themselves. Because what's coming after is far, far worse than any war amongst ourselves.
And what might that be?
A very, very long night.
Roll credits.
And then she looks back towards the ocean. When the sun is gone, and the light brother can never be seen or heard. That's what they're waiting for.
We must prevent that from happening to save the lives of those that live upon this plane.
You can't.
Would you assist us in this action?
Unfortunately, there's no way you can. Trust me.
What do you mean by they?
What do you mean, they?
They are waiting for the light brother to basically disappear. Who is they?
The angels and
Right.
the enemy of their fallen brethren. The Dark Brother's second spawn. Chaos Incarnate, as he called them.
I see.
If you'd like to know more about that type, I'm sure the mages would love to tell you more. Though, just as a word of warning, they know what's coming, and they don't plan on stopping it either. Might be something you might want to bring up.
They do not seek to at least preserve their own ability to live? That is strange.
They know how to... Oh no, they have ways to escape and to live. They just don't feel like sharing it with the rest of you. Anyway,
Well,
I have a conversation to get back to.
That will and must change. Thank you for letting us know.
She waves, and then she starts speaking in Celestial again.
Wow. Okay.
I
Good to
see. The
know.
gauntlet has been laid down. Interesting.
Alright, so basically,
We must prevent
the
apocalypse.
higher beings have all but abandoned us. Good to know.
Are you guys walking in having this conversation?
Oh, yes.
You hear coming from behind you guys. That's not exactly the case. As
Well,
you hear,
I'm interpreting it as such.
Who is it?
It's Nerul. He kind of like, as he says, he appears like leaning against a tree.
Oh, you've come to join us.
Mainly, no, I just happened to listen to the conversation at hand, and to be quite honest, I'm not surprised she'd say all that.
I'm
Can
not
you fill in
here.
any of the blanks that she may have left with her description of how things would occur?
Not much left out. Not much left blank, actually. That's exactly what's going to happen. One day there's going to be it's more specific like this. There's going to be a long winter one day, and and people will starve, people will freeze, and people will be slaughtered by the millions, most likely.
Do you know of any ways in which we can prevent this, or at least mitigate its effects?
None. It'll hit the north first, and then it'll travel south.
So basically,
I
travel
guess
as southward as
by
possible.
time,
Got it.
Move everyone south. Yeah.
You are already there's no escaping that. If certain safeguards fail, then it's over.
Well, then we must ensure that they don't.
Anyway, it can be delayed, at least.
He kind of looks at Searson for a moment and just kind of like Searson, what are you thinking with this conversation?
What? Well, they are coming from the north. Great. Just a huge onslaught of just slaughter.
Hmm.
And there's no hope to stop it?
Well,
But you have safeguards?
Well, there was one safeguards the angels had in place, and that they left to their fate.
Well, then we must check out this safeguard.
See, the problem is you'd never side with them.
You, as in our group, or me individually?
Your group. You seem to be all positively aligned.
I wouldn't be associated with them otherwise, but yes.
He then kind of summons a shadow because I can of like what appears to be a horned entity, and he says, "These angels are lawful good. There's a split opposite of them. That's lawful evil. They're the ones that are holding back a greater evil, and you'd never side with them because they're fighting to see which evil wins."
Well, we must ensure that no evil comes to pass.
Why do you think?
Would I know what he's talking about?
You know slightly, yes. You've heard rumors of...
Like, would I know about the princes?
Not... You know of the devils, you wouldn't know of the princes. Because over an Aether, they were able to figure out that that's how tiefling are born, basically.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
What he's referring to, Dion, is devils. And these things, from what I can tell, will never end.
Great.
Well, they can die. They can die in the.
Ourselves to make sure that they never come upon this realm.
They're in this realm.
No.
They've been. Do you know warlocks? They make deals with them. Take their souls, bring them to the Nine Hells to be soldiers in their war. That's been going on for thousands of years.
I see. Are these wars fought between good and evil, or just different versions of evil?
Lawful evil, chaotic evil. Those are your choices.
Neither good choice, but I guess, chaotic evil. I guess chaotic evil would allow for a greater chance of good rising. So at some point, while both are terrible, chaotic evil is slightly better. Because it's less stable?
Neville kind of face palms for a moment as he says, "Oh my god, I keep forgetting that you're the idealist of this group."
I wouldn't call myself an idealist, simply a realist that understands that cooperation is the most efficient way to carry out a collective society.
He walks past and he says, "I'm going back to what I was doing before. To be quite frank, there is no winning in that regard. The only winning is stagnation, and to be quite honest, if either side wins, it's not good. And one side is close to winning, and it's going to be up to the ones that are left to stop them, which is why I'm damned now," he says before he leaves.
One real thing before you leave, or if he's gone.
Yeah, he pauses and looks back.
You don't have anything to do with this, don't you?
No, I don't. But judging from what I've heard, he sighs, I'm going to be one of the ones that's going to be left standing to stop it.
Well, we will stand alongside you.
And then you hear in a far older voice, "You're already dead by the time it happens."
I guess I will ask, what is there no chance for us to ensure at least some of the innocents survive?
It's not up to me. It's up to the one that stops it. He says. He starts walking away. A man from the west, from what I remember. He's not here yet. When he's here, he'll be the one to stop it.
Well, we must find this man and ensure that he does.
Good luck with that. He says. He starts fading into shadow. Humans and elves never get along. And he's gone.
First time for everything, yeah.
Dion, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, yeah.
You're a very logic-minded man. Yes, you can concoct a good plan. For the good of the realm, correct. You want to secure as many lives as you possibly can.
That would be correct, yes.
How would you propose going about the fact that goblins are attacking us?
Well, personally, I think that there's no reason for the goblins to be our enemies, since all living beings have the same basic needs. But if they refuse to cooperate with us, then but to ensure that they cannot do harm to those that choose to cooperate and be peaceful members of society. So if conflict must occur, then we should do our best to mitigate losses on all sides, but especially those of innocents.
But how are you to decide when conflict must occur?
Well, the only reason for conflict to ever exist is a disparity of either ideals or resources. So seeing as though that seems to occur at this moment, we must endure some amount of conflict to ensure the survival of those we have sworn to protect.
And how, per se, are you supposed to do this? Just you, not a we.
I will do my best to both provide the necessary means of infrastructure to keep those I have sworn to protect alive in the societal sense, but also protect them from the military threats that seem to arise around them. So I will either eliminate or incapacitate the violent threats that pose a danger to their livelihoods, but also ensure that food, water, medical supplies, infrastructure, shelter are all provided to those that may need it with care.
All right. Before we go, I just want to say, be very careful of presenting your ideals. There will always be someone who does not like them.
Well, I'm hoping to change that, but wise words.
As a king, you wish... If you were a king, right? Who would you care for most? If you had to choose.
If I had to choose out of group, how would you break up the group of people in which I'm?
Let's just say your people or your lords.
Oh, my laws?
Your lords.
Lords. Well, I mean, seeing as though for the most case, there would be more people than lords, it would only be fair to give more support to the people, seeing as though they would need being a more populous group.
Ah, yes, but then your lords would be displeased, and now your people are enhanced with their strength. So the lords will send their people against you to overthrow you and most likely kill you. You try to save so many people, but in reality, you just empower them to overthrow you in your own rule.
Well, I would think if I was to establish a governmental system, I would ensure that all parties are enhanced by its operation, and no one would have to make the choice between bettering their own nation and fighting against the whole. Instead, they would be able to do both through cooperation, through mutual betterment. But of course, the good of the many always outweighs the good of the few. So it's only fair, logical, and reasonable to ensure that the most people have the higher standard of living.
Well, I wish you good luck. And honestly, I wish you to just push for a higher living standard, if anything.
I appreciate that, and I'm sure that you and I and the rest of our party, as well as those that we have allied ourselves with, can achieve this through both diligence and the application of rational thinking.
Oh, Paladin. How are you?
What?
How are you?
Doing absolutely.
Tell me, what are your thoughts on Dion's ideals?
Personally, whatever keeps me and those I care about alive, I don't really care for. Well, I don't really care. Like, let me rephrase. As long as it doesn't hurt those I care about, then it doesn't matter to me.
See? More realistic standards. I take it we're at the mages at this point.
You're getting close. You are getting close. You are getting close at this point. And
You're barely over halfway.
no. You see Leowyn and Verno arguing outside of Leowyn's tree.
Who in Verno?
Leah and Verno arguing outside of Leowyn's tree.
Oh, this is a good start.
What are they arguing about?
Look.
Wait. What? Reading the mouths.
I mean, they're loud enough for you to hear, but yeah, you can get a better. Well, actually, no. Kylan, you're able to see this before the rest of them are. But basically, you come across. Would you please just let it go for a moment? So what if he's here? He's the biggest help we've got, and if you would just take off I will not take off those tattoos. Why? He's literally the most powerful mage amongst below the conclave. At this point, we might as well just use him as a giant battering ram to smack down the goblins. And if he turns back to his old ways, then we murder him. It's simple as that. Ugh.
Alright, so she's capable of taking those tattoos off. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
It's a pleasure to see you.
Same to you, she says. He fixes her hair. Just can't say the same for this lot. She stares at Verno.
Alright, so...
I offer her a hug?
She puts her hand out like, I'm good.
Mage Hunter can
Very well, I just want to make sure you were okay. I heard an argument and saw you were one of the parties.
Yes, this one seems to be wanting to take someone's leash off, and take a dog's leash off, and I'm getting rather annoyed by the conversation.
Why is that the case?
Well, if the dog is good at his job and is able to help us out, I think it makes perfect sense to take his leash off. And if he runs off and happens to defecate in someone else's property, well then you punish the dog as need be. And if he doesn't learn, then you put the dog down.
We are talking about a sapient being, not an animal.
Oh please, Leowyn's been an animal since the day he was born. Don't kid yourself with it. Don't actually delude yourself to think that anything that he says is actually truthful.
No.
What has he said that has been dishonest?
Really? A man? Really, that man didn't think that a hobgoblin, who was the son of a Legion warlord, was going to go back, take over, and try to conquer lands. And then, at the same time, he stays near Leowyn, where a person who was in his army, Daryl Leowyn, resides. And if the town comes under threat and is desperate enough, would come to him for help. That doesn't seem strange at all. Or too coincidental.
Correlation doesn't exactly mean causation, I think that he should at least have a chance to defend himself.
All true, both are about to die very soon.
Who's about to die?
Both.
Hopefully not.
Darrow and the warlord.
So
if it comes to that,
I will assure you, it wouldn't be much of a problem much longer.
it's not. Yes, Leowyn's close to his deathbed, Leowyn's close to passing on, hopefully, and then the warlord will be dealt with, and then we still have the issue of the dog. He says she looks back at Verno, which will be handled.
And have you not? I mean, have you forgotten what I said?
Oh no, I remember. I'm considering that actually, but this one seems to be the only thing that stands in the way of probably a healthy solution being available, because we have a weapon, so why not use it?
If
Because
the weapon
that weapon
serve
could
the good of the
backfire and hurt a lot of people.
Yes, that's every weapon. What's the difference? It's one man who maybe has a lot of magic, but it's one man. You killed him. You took him down with how many mages? 20 or so. My point exactly.
If this action is over 50% chance likely to help the people of the realm, then it is not but an option to take this course of action.
See? He sees my point exactly. Leah then just facepalms. Oh my goodness.
I want to state for the record that Leowyn himself actually does not want the tattoos off him.
I'm sorry, what? Leah kind of like pokes up. Yeah, Verno looks over and is like, wait, what?
Leowyn has the ability to take them off himself, but chooses not to.
Were we supposed to say that?
Verno kind of like looks. Verno and Leah both look shocked by that. Like,
I put my hands on her shoulder and just like motion her back. And I was like, boy.
as Leah is about to say something at that very moment, but then you hear a bell go off. That's the bell for if there's a fire going on in town. There is a fire. There's a fire going on in the center of town where the town meeting hall is.
Uh-oh.
As each of you head
there.
towards that location, you see 212 elves slaughtering their fellow townspeople, wearing the garbs of the Merrick Legion. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Oh, what the fuck?
How can you do this?